Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to the Dark Souls livestream series. We are beginning a new build today, and it is going to be the last new build that I start for a little while. As I mentioned in what I believe was my previous recording, I'm going to be approaching this a little differently to how I approached my Demon Souls livestream series. In the Demon Souls livestream series, I did many builds, in other words, characters, and then I later returned to them, like, a year and a half later, return to those characters to do New Game Plus and Beyond runs of those characters, and the only exception to that, I believe, was the, what was it called again? The Northern Regalia build. And that was because the Northern Regalia is actually a weapon that you can only get in New Game Plus, and I had fucked that build up so hard that I ended up having to do New Game Plus 2 to actually have the Northern Regalia, but that's a story in and of itself. What I will be doing in this livestream playthrough, again I reiterate this for the benefit of any person who happened to not hear it in the previous recording, what I will be doing here is maybe keeping to 2 builds, and then, which will I think be a dexterity and strength build, and I will be taking those to high levels of New Game. Of course, or high levels of New Game Plus, I suppose, just to serve as a disambiguation. But anyway, the question that you might have is, what about the first build that you did? Because this is the 3rd build in the series, right? Well, don't forget that that was in the PS3 version. This is... I will be continuing only in the Xbox 360 version because it just looks so much better than that awful component video that I get on the PS3, so yeah, unsurprising, isn't it, that HDMI video looks better. Of course, it's not surprising at all. In terms of this build, you know what the build is. It is a strength build, it is written in the title, and I will be approaching this in a fairly standard way. I suppose one thing that I'll do that will be different to what I'm used to doing is I'll be trying to get the Guardian armor set, I think. It's not going to be something that I can get for a little while. Of course, I'll have to defeat Ornstein and Smough and acquire, well, in fact, I would have to kill the 4 kings before I can get that, because you need to kill the 4 kings in order to be able to access the DLC. In other words, the Lord Vessel has to be set at the altar, and you have to be able to access the Duke's Archives, otherwise the DLC cannot be accessed. So, yes, the Guardian set is basically the stone set, except in the past, so you actually go back and get what is the stone set, but when it wasn't so ancient and worn away. And I actually haven't confirmed how good the set is. It's been so long since I've picked it up. Hello, Absurd Hero. It's been so long since I picked it up last and actually used it that I can't remember how it fares compared to the likes of, say, Havel's armor set, the Giant's armor set. I'd say that it's almost as good as those. I don't think it would be on par or better than either of them. But typically what I go with for a strength build is the Giant set. That seems to be what's most comfortable for me. And I think there's a good reason why. I think the best strength armor set, in other words, I shouldn't say strength armor set because of course there is no, stat bonus on armor for strength, but the idea is that heavier builds are usually strength builds for the reason that strength-based weaponry are heavier weapons, so you may as well go the whole way and just have a heavy, slow-moving build, heavy shield, heavy weapon, heavy armor. I believe that the Giant set is the best defense-wise. That's just my memory of it. I might be remembering it wrong, but that's how I always approached it, so yeah. I just thought I'd do something a little different. In terms of the weaponry that I'll use, that will honestly depend on what I end up picking up. I'll probably start... Don't go to load game. Well, if you wanted to see the previous build, there it is. You can see that I'm in the Northern Undead Asylum because I'm at the beginning of New Game Plus there, so... yes, thank you for letting me know. Of course, I've been playing in the offline mode the whole time because I don't have Xbox Gold, and I'm not too concerned about that. I'm not sitting here going, oh, I wish I had Xbox Gold. It's really not the case, obviously. Anyway, oh, I see Ron Money actually went and re-followed me 12 hours ago. I think he had a new Twitch account or something. Ron Money is one of my... Well, I suppose he's been watching me for about a year now. Maybe a little longer. And unfortunately he can't join me live because I'm always streaming at a time that is inappropriate for him. My old stream schedule, more specifically, you know, the different... I don't even know what you call it. Basically, at different times of the year, some parts of the world are in, you know, different time zones. You know, there are time zone changes. We call it daylight savings. I don't know if people call it other things. That's why I didn't really know how to refer to it in a way that you might be able to understand. But basically, the time zone differences in what is summer for me and winter for the southern hemisphere, excuse me, the northern hemisphere. Anyway, point is that, yes, that is more appropriate for people in Europe, for example. So if I stream early in the morning, my time, it ends up being appropriate for people going to sleep in Europe. But at this time of year, if I stream in the morning, my time, they've been asleep for ages, you know, and it ends up being like 1 or 2 in the morning or later. No, usually about, you know, 1 or 2 in the morning for many parts of Europe. But anyway, let's not get stuck on that subject. That's not too terribly exciting, is it? The beverage today is gin. I don't know if that's rain that I can hear outside. It could just be my Xbox 360, but that's a lot of... You know how there's almost this soft, white noise-esque sound, that static sound to rain? That could be the sound of the fans of my 360 or the sound of rain, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway. As far as what I will name my character, I haven't even considered it. It was the same with the previous build that I did. I hadn't even thought about it. What's like a strong man's name? How about Damien? Or Greg? I don't want to call him Greg, you know. There's nothing wrong with the name Greg. How about Gregory? Yeah, how about Gregory? That's probably a reasonable name for a strong man. Gregory the Strength build. What would I like to start with for a build of this kind? Hadn't really thought about it. Knight is okay, I really don't mind. I think Bandit is what I usually go with, yeah. That is the most strength-focused of them all, I believe. Knight is sort of your heavy all-rounder, whereas Wanderer is your light all-rounder. I think I'm going to close the outside window. I don't know, there are atmospheric noises. Atmospheric, I say. Environmental noises that I think I would like to prevent from entering the diaphragm of this microphone for the benefit of your listening experience. Alrighty. Excuse that. I don't mean to drag the zipper of my jacket across my microphone. Just when I was talking about the benefit of your listening experience, I go and do that. Hey Beans, the last build that I did was... Well, the last build was a dexterity build, which I think ended up being a Wanderer for the starting class, because I think I had done Thief for... What was the first build that I did in this series? Was it a Rapier build? I think it was a Rapier build, wasn't it? In the PS3 version. So, in the Rapier build I had done a Thief, and when I did my Dexterity build I didn't want to start with the same starting class, so I went with Wanderer, I believe. That's what would make sense to me. So I think I'm going to do Bandit this time. What's Hunter again? That's sort of a somewhat balanced Dexterity based one. Usually if I want balanced Dex, I'll go for Wanderer. But I guess Hunter is reasonable as well. I think the difference is really the fact that this guy has a bow to start with. Anyway, the point is that we do have a strength build that we want to do here, so Bandit it is. Very good starting class, I will tell you, for the reason that the axe is really good, the battle axe more specifically. And the Spina Shield, I think, is the best starting shield except for the... whatever this is called. The Silver Kite Shield, I think it's called. This and the Spina Shield are the best starting shields, by far. This is crap for shielding. This is crap for shielding. The heater shield's pretty good, you know, nothing wrong with the heater shield, but I think the Silver Kite shield and the Spider shield are considerably better. Maybe not considerably. Large leather shield isn't too bad. It's not too bad. I'd say the large leather shield is about as good as the heater shield, although I think the heater shield blocks 100% physical, whereas the large leather shield would be sitting at around 90%. So, yeah, is that a buckler? No, that's not a buckler. What is that again? I can't remember what that is. A buckler is smaller than that. And that's the cracked round shield, the worst shield in the game. That's an eagle shield, I think it's called. Not to be confused with the... Oh, what was that called again? There was a shield that, back when Dark Souls first came out, a lot of people used. I can't remember the name of it now. It was, I think, the lightest of the heavy shields. It was almost a medium weight shield. And the stability was so high given the weight that everyone used it back when the game first came out, and it was just miserable. People would sit behind it at the low levels and you just couldn't get past them. It was terrible. And I think it was, you know, things like that that brought about just endless backstab strategy in online play. I wish I could remember the name of them. It might be called the Eagle Shield. Maybe I'm getting the name wrong for this one, but it was something to do with eagles, or... It was like, it might have been, I think Twin might have been in the name, might have been Twin Eagle Crest Shield, I've got no fucking idea, but anyway, it was a crap shield. If I ever sound like I'm being an idiot and I'm forgetting basic things in the game, it's because I stopped playing this game for like 6 years because I used to play it too much. So, yeah, certain things that I haven't refamiliarized myself with in that time are still nothing more than vague memories, so... That's the way it is. Let's go and... Well, I'll choose some hair. Because when I have hair chosen, it's more clear to me whether a face is appropriate or not. Let's go with wild. Yeah, he's a wild man. Let's go to customize. We'll get a random face. I don't like the similar button from the later games. Random is just nicer because it is as described. There you go. That's a good face. I like that. That's perfect. And he, you know, he looks kind of happy. He's the gentle giant-looking individual, and then he goes and socks you in the face. Am I happy with his dark hair color? Is that appropriate? I think so. Let's just go with that. You're crazy if you actually spend time trying to make a really nice-looking character in a Souls game. That is just not worth it. You can technically do it, it's just hard. Because the Souls games have never had a good character creation system. I think the Demon Souls remake was pretty good. I heard that it was extremely detailed, which would make it the only Souls game so far with a good character creator. Maybe Dark Souls 3 is alright, maybe I'm selling it short, I don't know, but I didn't find it to be too great. It seemed like a slightly more polished but still shit character creation sequence, given, like, that's a comparative statement, you know, compared to other games, it's not very good, but the thing is, it doesn't matter anyway, you almost never see your character's face, or at least, you know, unless you're doing a fashion Souls setup where your face is always visible, but, you know, even then, this is not the kind of game where that's important, so I think they knew that. In my first playthrough, I probably would have spent time creating a character. I think just to familiarize myself with it. Because it was an improvement over Demon Souls, I will tell you. So I did think it was going to be pretty good when I first played Dark Souls. My memory of the first time I made a character in this game is not clear, because it was a while ago and I have played this game so many times, but I think I would have... my memory of, like, in terms of first impressions, I have a memory of thinking that it was considerably better than Demon Souls, which it's not. But at first blush, yes, you do. You are left with the impression that it's considerably better, because it seems to be better, but I don't know. I suppose it would be better at the end of the day, but it's still pretty bad, so... And again, I'm not really too concerned about that. It's not like I'm going to that's going to be a considerable mark against the game. I don't find it to be that important, but yeah. This was never a good game for character creation. It's not a sign of the times or anything like that. Absolutely not, because I think it might be relevant to say that. We are in something of a new generation of gamers now, and maybe some people would think that games of this era just had these kinds of character creation sequences. They didn't. I mean, this was on the lower end of the time. But it was never a real problem, because it wasn't about that. At least not for me. Maybe some people were bothered by it, but I never had time to be bothered by it. I just allowed myself to be entertained by it more than anything else. Hey, Souls Player. Or Jonathan, as I have decided to refer to you. As? Well, of course, Souls Player, or Jonathan, makes a good point. If you're role-playing in some way with your character, like you want to have a kingly character using Gwyn's armor, yeah, you take some time to do what you can in making a kingly character, but... And look, again, it's not impossible to make a good-looking character in a Souls game. I'm not saying that it is, I'm just saying that the amount of effort required to do it has never been worth it in my eyes. Again, feels really weird playing on an Xbox 360 controller because I have been playing a lot of this exact game in my own time, but on my PlayStation 3 controller, on my PC. So, yeah, as far as missing that attack completely, I don't really know what to say other than pretend you didn't see it. As you can see, the axe riposta is lovely. You start by chopping the chest, bringing them down to their knees, and then you basically decapitate them. Except it's not really animated in that way. It's more like a face shot rather than a neck shot, but it's good. It's quite dramatic. I like it. Now, sometimes I do a roll to do the drop attack on this guy because I have just dropped off normally and totally missed the drop attack. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen, and it's weird. It shouldn't happen that way. You should almost gravitate towards the boss. They should make that allowance. But they don't always do that. So you've been playing Final Fantasy XIV as well, Jonathan. Seems that everyone's playing that game these days, but you know what? Power to them. If people want to enjoy it, then go for it. I just don't have the time for it. I have too many games to play that aren't Final Fantasy XIV, so I'm not going to touch it. It's not the kind of game that I would play unless I was willing to sink a lot of time into it. And you know what? If I did play it, I would sink a lot of time into it. My point is that I don't want to have all of my free time taken up by playing some MMO that I probably won't play 10 years from now. So, yeah, no. I'm just not interested. I'm all about time investment and, you know, sensible investment of time, and quite frankly, I don't think it would be sensible. And people would look at it and say, well, you know, if you think you'll have fun but still choose to not play it, then you're missing out, and okay. I think I would enjoy it, but I have to look at it in the sense of, well, there are lots of things that I want to play now, and I would rather not leave those behind in favor of that game. And I've made the decision, therefore, to miss out. And I'm not really going to regret that decision, because I'm never going to know how good the game is, you see. Because I'm never going to play it. I don't think I'll ever play it, I really don't think I will, because I don't have the time now, and I certainly won't have the time in the future, so... yeah, that's the way I look at it. I only go into details about this because I've been, on a number of occasions, asked about the game, like as far as whether or not I play it. I've also been recommended by a number of people to play it, and I've also been told that there's been this max exodus from World of Warcraft to Final Fantasy XIV, and everyone's talking about how it's the best thing since sliced bread, and I'm just like, well, okay, great, but yeah, Elden Ring's going to be my time sink, sorry. I don't know what Elden Ring will bring, which is not a rhyme because it's just repeating the same letters and therefore the same sound, and calling that a rhyme is a bit pathetic. But, you know, that's basically going to be the exception to the rule being that I don't want to play any games that would take a lot of my time because I have other games that I want to play. Elden Ring will be that exception, because it is part of what I consider to be the Souls series. Hopefully I'm not betrayed in that regard. Hopefully I'm not going to be playing Elden Ring and I'll be like, oh no, this is nothing like Souls, I hate this, but we'll see. I can only hope that it won't be that way. I'm an idiot. I'm supposed to be on the right side of the screen. I've done this whole recording up until this point on the left side. I never do that for Souls recordings, because I'm blocking the... what I consider to be the most important stuff. I don't find the Souls count to be, or Souls counter to be that important. So, I'm usually on this side. Yeah, so when I'm on this side, this is non-mirrored. So, I mean, well, not that this is a great example, but you can read Melakesh, Melakesh. But if I'm on the opposite side, it would be backwards, but you wouldn't notice anyway, because this is one of those symmetrical band logos. A lot of the black metal band logos are symmetrical. Are you kidding me? Can you not call me right now? Why must you call me right now? You could have called... No comment. Not that, you know, me getting a call and then reacting to the fact that I'm getting a call with no context is going to be of any use to you, but anyway. So, yeah, I'm not responding to that. But, although I shouldn't, I won't. Sorry. I will call you tomorrow. I'm doing a live stream. I'm going this way because I want a... I wasn't going to do it, but then I thought, no, I'll do it. I would like a Firekeeper Soul. In case it's important, I'll keep my phone nearby, so that I can be communicated of the fact that it's important, but if it's not, then... oh, tough titties. Tough titties. So, yeah, did I finish what I'm saying? I am doing this for a Firekeeper Soul, so I will at least grab that. And given that I'm starting with a pretty good weapon, the ghosts shouldn't be too hard to deal with. They will be pretty tanky for me at this point. God, look at the fucking frames in this place. Now, I've talked about the 360 version being decent enough for me to be able to continue this livestream series somewhat comfortably, but there are certain areas that, again, just perform so terribly, and New Londo is one of those locations. It's just fucking awful. But yeah, Jonathan, it was obvious. I mean, I don't know what your experience with MMOs is, but any MMO is an ultimate time sink. If you're not putting a lot of time into it, you're not going to get much out of it. You get what you put in. You get out of the game what you put in, ultimately, and if you don't put much in, you're not going to get anything out of it. And at the end of the day, the way the games are structured incentivizes you to just keep playing anyway. So not many people probably find themselves only playing a tiny little bit of an MMO. Usually what will happen is they'll, you know, waste away in front of it for a month and then maybe stop, and then they may return or they may not. But there's never a case of, oh, I'm going to play, you know, 2 hours of this today and then leave it alone for 3 days. I mean, it's not how that works. Usually it's more like, I'm going to play 6 hours of it today, 6 hours of it tomorrow, 8 hours of it the next day, and then if I've got a full day to myself, I'm going to wake up and play it, and then I'm going to, you know, keep playing it until I go to sleep. So, you know, that's what an MMO is. A good MMO, anyway. And I don't really want that in my life right now. I actually don't want that in my life. So, I'm not doing that. I will make an exception for Elden Ring. I don't know if it's going to be like that. I actually don't know. I'm going to guess it's not going to be like an MMO in that regard. I'm probably going to be able to take myself away from it pretty comfortably, but yeah, I do realise that I will probably put a lot of time into Elden Ring, and I'm willing to make that concession. Just doing jump attacks here because, you know, you need to account for the fact that these ghosts have a lot of range, so I'm trying to do ranged attacks of my own to compensate. No, I'm not saying that Elden Ring has the possibility of being an MMO. What I mean to say is that there might be elements of it that are very addictive and also might pull me into it to a degree that I just can't pull myself away. But yeah, it's just not going to be an MMO or anything like that. If it was going to be one, that would be kind of cool, but you know, I almost wouldn't want that either, because there are positives and negatives, and I would say in that case, the negatives would outweigh the positives. That's what I would say about that. Yeah, I'm very excited by the idea of an open world Souls-like. I mean, this is open world, what I'm playing right now, but not really open world. Not open world as we would know it. Like an Elder Scrolls game, or Breath of the Wild, or I guess The Witcher is open world, isn't it? I haven't played it. I think it is. The newer ones are, anyway. You know, that sort of game. Having a Souls game like that would be great. And that's what I hope for with Elden Ring. I hope to treat it like a Souls game. I just hope that it won't betray any expectations I might have. I'm trying to keep my expectations limited, but I can't help myself, I don't think. We'll see. I'm not sitting here with bated breath, impatiently, you know, quivering in my chair in anticipation for the game's release, but I'd like to play it. I can tell you that much. I'll be using another Homeward Bone just up ahead. I'm picking up the Zweihander, which is very easy to get. It's not a difficulty at all. You'd have to be, I don't know, blackout drunk to fail in picking up the Zweihander. You know, I mean, I say that because back when this game first came out, you can't believe how dramatic people were being about this game and how hard it was. I mean, yeah, okay, it might have been hard for a beginner, but it wasn't designed to be the hardest game of all time, but people were acting as if it was, so anyway. Would I consider myself addicted to this game? No, I wouldn't. Because I do have to take time away from it sometimes. And, well, in fact, what I would say is that and I've said this before, but I do have very long periods where I don't play Souls at all. Not just this, like, not just taking myself away from this specific game, but Souls in general, and that's usually a period of 6 months. I'll usually play fairly regularly for a month or two, and then I'll just stay away from Souls for like 6 months. And that's not including what I do on camera. That's in my own time. In my own time, I'm playing a lot of Souls at the moment, but that's not going to continue that way. And I play games on rotation like that, because rather than become addicted, I need a bit of variety. So, yeah, and then I'll be on my Monster Hunter fix again once I'm done with Souls. Maybe, or maybe I'll move to something else. I don't know what would be something else to play. Maybe all the Game Boy games, or Game Boy Advance games that I'm wanting to play. Which are just older games anyway, you know. I want to replay those elder games that I haven't played properly in so long, and that's taking a backseat while I engage in all this crap. But, well, not crap, it's not actually crap, it's just a turn of phrase that might be a bit unnecessarily rough, giving rise to misinterpretations, but alrighty, so what am I doing? I am checking the stat requirements for the Zweihander. Of course, we don't have to get to 24 because we can just two-hand it, but I think I'll try to get to 24. I don't like having to two-hand. I don't like, you know, two-handed gameplay. It's not so hack and slash, but it's close enough to hack and slash that I try to avoid it. I enjoy parry gameplay and shield gameplay. You know, blocking. I love the deliberate nature of blocking an attack and then attacking the enemy afterwards. I just love that. which is one of the reasons why I fucking hated Bloodborne. But anyway, let that just clarify my opinions regarding Bloodborne for some people. I'm not going to elaborate on that, but, you know, that might help some people to understand why I didn't like that game. Because again, I do value shield combat. It's part of what makes Souls special for me. And it's what, when Demon's Souls came out, really set the series apart, or set that particular game apart from the rest of the JRPG world. It just absolutely set it apart starkly from everything else, to the extent where it took on a life of its own. That game, Demon's Souls, when it came out, had so much fucking personality. It was incredible how much personality that game had. There was nothing like it. It was cold, dark, oppressive, crushingly difficult, and it didn't apologize for it. It was what it was, and it slowly snuck into the gaming market, and it was better that way. I preferred it when it was a niche, you know, something that you were able to play if you were looking for that kind of thing. If you were looking for that kind of thing, you were rewarded. You didn't need to be handed it through like a good advertising campaign, like what happened with Dark Souls 2. So, yeah. I mean, that's not to say that good things shouldn't be rewarded with lots of attention. I think that's, you know, fairly true, but as a player, I like small communities. I've always liked small communities. The larger the community gets, the worse it gets. It's just how it is, because you have a larger number of idiots, and it's not about, you know, how many idiots per capita. It's about how many idiots, because, you know, a lot of idiots are going to be bad no matter what. It doesn't matter if there are lots of reasonable and nice people. That's what I've found anyway. Oh. How about we play properly? That'd be nice. Yeah, I'll parry you. Because you've pissed me off. I'm gonna chop your chest and then decapitate you. Just to make a point that you have pissed me off. Hello. You bought a copy of Final Fantasy Tactics for the Game Boy Advance. Fuck, I haven't heard that in a long time. Final Fantasy Tactics. I never played it, but I'd heard of it. It was fairly well known when I was first getting into video games. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Incoming over here, I don't know if I have any business with the Male Undead Merchant. I don't think I do. I really don't think I do. What would I want from him? I don't want an orange sign soapstone. I'm playing offline. I don't want... It's not Dark Souls 3, Doom. You can't fucking riposter after doing that. I have been playing a bit of Dark Souls 3. I very annoyingly... what's his name again? Orbeck of Vinheim, I think his name is? I think it's Orbeck of Vinheim. He disappeared forever in my most recent new game playthrough of Dark Souls 3, because I forgot that if I don't give him a fucking scroll or whatever it is, he just disappears. I forgot about that. I was too busy enjoying the game. I was just mowing down the whole fucking game, because I find that game to be really... it's so clean and nice that I mow through it. It's just, and I love it. It's a fun experience. Maybe some people wouldn't like it, but when you're used to the rigidity of old Souls and then you go and play Dark Souls 3, it's just, oh, it's lovely. It's lovely. And I was having fun, and then next thing you know, I go back to the Nexus and I'm like, huh, I might actually invest in some magic, and the next thing you know, the guy's fucking gone. I'm like, oh, great. So now I'm gonna have to repurpose that whole fucking build, which I can do, fortunately, given the advent of, or the implementation at least, of soul reallocation, or rather stat reallocation. But still, that was fucking annoying to see. That was like soul crushing. I actually had to turn the game off and take a walk after that. I was so pissed off. Have you ever been so pissed off that instead of yelling and ranting, you go quiet and then you just have to I don't know, reevaluate your life. That was the frustration I felt when Orbeck disappeared. I think I've got his name right. I think it's Orbeck. But anyway. Oh, fuck off. Out you go. I never really have a reason to go over here, so I generally don't bother. I mean, these are the firebomb guys. I think there's just a soul there. I never get it because it's not worth my time. And I don't really want firebombs in the face either. Alright, you guys can fucking relax, seriously. This is why I don't bother. Where did that was a strange angle for that to fly. Well, whatever. Let's get some gold pine resin. If you guys want to follow me, you're welcome to. Oh, hello, you're rather politely descending the ladder. You could have just dropped it. Whoa! You guys actually have a pretty good throw going on there. You didn't even have eyes on me and you still were right on target. It's almost like your computer AI or something and not like actual things with actual brains and personalities. Well, I wouldn't expect an undead creature to have much of a personality, but you know what I mean when I say that. Yeah, I also, well, yeah, you're talking about this, Souls player. This is what you're talking about, this thing right here. I got this baby on pre-order. And all those bloody weapons you're talking about, I recall, and yeah, they were disappointing for sure. They were bloody disappointing. I mean, it really... I recall a time when I was tempted to throw this in the bin. Seriously. I stopped playing Dark Souls 2 before the first DLC released. Like, stopped playing it. And I didn't pick it up again until I did my first Dark Souls 2 Let's Play of 2014. 2016, excuse me. I did, like, a few little recordings of the game in 2014, but yeah, 2016 was the Let's Play. Yeah, just try not to let the frame drops bother you too much. And it's just a thing when it comes to the older version of the game on the consoles that it released on. Hello guys. Did I get that gold pine resin? I think I did. I was supposed to. Let's check. I did not. I'm very stupid. Just, you know, slice the top of your skull off. Oh, well, I wasn't really in position to... Yeah, I love how I'm not using this Vihonda. Am I really that opposed to using it two-handed? I guess I am. Well, whatever. What I'm using here, the battle axe, is still a really good weapon for this part of the game, so this is fine. So I opened the door, but I didn't go and get the pine resin. That's good to know. It'll be interesting to see... well, here's a good question. Would I rather use this Vihonda or the Black Knight Greatsword for the start? Let's find out. I think Black Knight Greatsword requires 14 dexterity. We'll see. We'll see if we get it. It's been a while since I've picked up the Black Knight Greatsword in the beginning, so... let's see if I'm lucky enough. We can always hope. Can we not? Whoops, that's rather unfortunate. I'll just retreat briefly. He's going to do a running thrust. It's always entertaining to have this very tall knight just get thrown on the ground by that. Please? Oh. I don't know why, I was feeling like I'd get it that time. I had a feeling in my waters. You're right about the Black Armor Edition weapons looking bad too. They never looked good. I didn't worry about it too much. I was just like, oh, I'll take it. But yeah, they weren't very good at all. Not even for the beginning, honestly. Certainly not for later on in the game. Hi, Juvenator. How are you enjoying Dark Souls 3 lately? You said that you were enjoying it. You played a bit of this game, but you went and tried Dark Souls 3, and I presume you got a bit more enjoyment out of that than you did the first Dark Souls. Which I am somewhat saddened by, but whatever. Get down the ladder, sir. Oh, that's great. That's... How could that ever not be entertaining? Slide down, land on top of his head, and he just slams down on the ground. That's quite funny. I don't think I'll use gold pine resin for this, but I'm tempted to, just to speed it up, because I don't get much use out of gold pine resin outside of the first 3 boss fights of the game, so let's just use it for this, shall we? We'll speed things up. I'll try fighting you normally this time, because you can see this is pretty fast with gold pine resin. It's there for that reason. It's to make this fight a real quick, simple process for any person who is keen of, or is keenly searching throughout the whole area leading up to the boss fight. You are rewarded for doing that. I can't remember where you get the key to open that door. It might be the residence key, I don't know. You know, it might open multiple doors, in other words, but I always use the master keys, so I don't really know what those little miscellaneous keys are, or where they can be found, or, yeah, I just don't know. The only keys I know about are the ones that the master key does not actually open the doors of. Kick down the old ladder, and down we go. Hair is being uncooperative. Seriously, I mean, beggars belief. I take the time to get the Firekeeper Soul and don't even fucking use it. Well, whatever, I'll use it once I loop back to Firelink Shrine. Which won't take too long, but yeah, so we'll focus on strength. I should be able to get to 24. This is a lot of souls for this point in the game, so that should be fine. I feel so sorry for any person, and I'm sure there would have been many people who did this, who consumed the Firekeeper Soul for actual souls instead of increasing the power of the Estus Flask, because if you think about it, like, it says Firekeeper Soul boosts power of Estus Flask, you think, oh, I can use it? Okay, I'll use it to boost the power of my Estus Flask, but that's not what you're supposed to do. I think I was just lucky enough to find the woman, and yeah, I knew what had to be done, but some people would have had to find out the hard way, and I feel for those people, really. I might go and get Havel's Ring. Oh, I'm still mid-rolling, which is good to see. But yeah, I think I'll go and get Havel's Ring. Here's the old Zweihander. Ugh. Yeah. One-handing, which is rather comfortable. It looks kind of weird, isn't it? Me going through the Undead Burg one-handing this weapon. Because that requires 24 strength. I do love the strong attack of the Zweihander. It's nice and fast, it's clean, it just works. And I like it a lot. It's very nice. Is nice. Come on, oh, that was my attempt at a backstab. Where am I going again? What was I doing? I was going to see Havel, that's right. I really didn't know why I was going in this direction for a brief moment. That's what happens when you're thinking about a million things. Oh, that was intended to be a jump, not a roll. That's what happens when you're thinking about a million things at once. You just forget the first thought. You're using the Great Club in Dark Souls 3? Well, that's a fun weapon. Acquired from the guy leading up to the Farron Keep sludge area or whatever. Yeah, Great Club is a good weapon. And I'm surprised you get it so early on in Dark Souls 3, actually. Hello, Havel. How are we going? I'd like to do a drop attack on you, but I also wouldn't like to do that. Don't really know what to expect with my shield here versus his Dragon Tooth. My guess is that it would fail terribly in shielding his Dragon Tooth. Oh no, it actually succeeds in shielding it. Well, that's good. If it didn't succeed in doing that, I would be dead. Can you please just stop with this business? Against my better judgment, I'm doing that. This is one of the most uncooperative Havel AIs I've ever seen. And regrettably, I mean, I shouldn't have done that. That was a really dumb thing that I just did. We will, of course, do that again, because that was just absolutely terrible. One of the worst Havel fights I've ever had. By a significant margin. But, yeah, he was being an actual dick right there. I immediately regretted attacking, but I couldn't do anything in that moment because of the length of the attack animation for the Zweihänder swing. So it, you know, it had to, you know, oh, that's no fucking way, it just lost 2,000 souls, I can't believe it. Wow. Now, let me tell you why that happened. It is very, very rare for that soldier to actually meet you at that door. That is extremely rare. And I don't know why that happened. Usually, he gives you time to enter first, but he actually met me at the door, which is why I was sandwiched in. Now, had I killed him fast enough, that wouldn't have been enough to get me killed, but yeah, that's some serious fucking shit. Anyway, I'm not really interested in killing any of you guys, because I would rather save the time. Yeah, 2,000 souls lost at this point in the game does hurt. That's one level up lost, but life goes on, doesn't it? I actually did not intend to jump at all there. Last time I intended to jump and then rolled, but this time I didn't intend to do anything and instead jumped. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway. Life goes on, doesn't it? Let's do what we can with Havel. I'm doing this for the Ring of Great Strength, obviously, excuse me, the Havel's Ring. It is effectively the Ring of Great Strength. Can you stop turtling me? I've never had such a turtle-happy Havel. I'm telling you, it's a 360 version. This version of the fucking game is a mess. Now, sometimes you can over-circle Havel and actually take an attack squarely in the fucking face. It happens. Whoops, that was so bad. That was so bad. Fortunately, I attacked fast enough. That's so stupid. Did you see that? The hitbox of his Dragon Tooth hit me from behind the weapon. His swing was focused straight ahead, and I was hit from behind. What a complete load of shit. This is not a good day today. Everything was going fine until I decided to fight Havel. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with Havel. Usually I don't have an issue with Havel, but sometimes he causes so much trouble. And for no real good reason. Fucking awful, honestly. I must have been slow getting to the door that time when I died to lose my souls. Oh, can you fucking stop? I do not require your incredible lack of cooperation. Like, that's not something that I need in my life right now. Nor do I need it in my gameplay experience. Fucking hell. I don't know. But yeah, everything was going fine until I had to fight this guy. Maybe I'm not approaching it appropriately. I think I'm doing fine. Hello. Come on. Don't be scared now. Now, part of the issue there before was that I had missed my chain stab. It's pretty easy to get a successful chain stab. It's hard when you go for the backstab knowing that you're not on the right angle. I'm just going to pick this up because it's distracting. Come on, Havel. Alright, let's try to get the chain stab. Hopefully he's not up against the wall. I think, yeah, he's up against the wall. I hate that crap. I'll coax him into an attack and then go in. Because I don't want him to begin an attack before I can get close enough to circle around. That would be less than ideal. Yeah, at the very least I'm dealing pretty good damage to him right now. I mean, it doesn't look like good damage, but it can be worse. I mean, I have often times, like most of the time when I fight Havel, I'm doing way less damage than this. So this feels pretty quick by comparison. Usually I'd be doing like 40 damage on a backstab or something. This is, well, you know, not 40 damage, put it that way. The problem with that, see, look at that crap. You barely miss the chain stab and it can put you in a very awkward position. I'm not going to... No, I will go in. I have space. I was going to say I'm not going to go in for the chain stab this time. But I do have space, so I'll do it. Should be one more to go. I think. Yeah, that should be enough to kill him, right? No? God, you're a fucking asshole, mate. And he's dead. So that's Havel's ring. I effectively spent 2,000 souls to get that. I could go straight to the Dark Route, or rather, maybe I could go this way. There's no real reason for me to go the other way to get to the Undead Parish. How about we go through the Dark Route Basin? It is our privilege, for we do hold the Master Key. So why not? Okay, we're not going to deal with the Hydra, we're also not going to deal with the Crystal guys. I'm not interested in them. I might go and tackle the halberd-wielding Black Knight, because he's close, and you never know, maybe the Black Knight halberd would be a decent weapon to use for this build, although the dexterity, I believe, is as high as 18. And I wouldn't get 18 dexterity unless it was a build where I was intending on using a curved greatsword. You know, something quality-based. Something with a high strength requirement, or rather, a high dexterity requirement that scales with strength. Whoops, I was too slow. I fucked that up really hard. That's the Grass Crest shield behind me, though. So, oh, that's probably not the best thing. Actually, it's not a problem because it's automatically given to you. You don't have to pick it up. What have we got? Well, we didn't get the weapon anyway. Juvenator, it's just a way of replaying the game with the same character. Instead of getting to a point where, you know, you've finished the game and then there's nothing more to do, so you just abandon the character, you have the option to continue through the game by doing it all again. That's the idea of New Game Plus. Because the alternative, again, is to just not be able to continue using the character. Fuck me. I would very much like your... No, don't you dare. Stop it. Come on. There we go. I wanted your Twinkling Titanite, Mr. Lizard. But yeah, the nature of New Game Plus is that it just serves as a form of replayability that allows you to keep using the character that you've put time into building. And I think it's great. And it's not unique to this game either. It's just a thing that exists in video games. Depends on the format as to whether or not that would be an appropriate implementation. And for Souls it is appropriate. What the fuck am I doing? I'm under attack from a tree person. a vegan, as one of my viewers puts. Or jokes, we could say. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pick up the other thing here. I'm always getting blood red moss clumps from you bastards. I have no desire to partake in your blood red moss clumps. So, what I really want are poison moss clumps. I never find myself consuming blood red moss clumps to reduce poison buildup. Like, what the fuck? Why would I? Now, I'm not going to fight this guy right now. I'm actually going to prioritize resting at the bonfire, and then I will return to this area and fight the Titanite demon. Thoughts on Pantera? I don't like them. I don't like their glam metal era, and I don't like their 90s I'm a tough guy era. So, yeah, I don't like either of it. People are welcome to enjoy Pantera. I just don't find them to be musically exciting. I think, what I believe is that if you're going to go hard, there are better ways to do it. That's what I think. I never felt that musically, like stylistically speaking, to be extreme, I felt like they were entry-level extreme. Like, sort of Baby's first hard band. But maybe that's a really one-dimensional and unfair way to look at it. I don't know. I think the idea is that I don't find any value in their style at the end of the day. And, you know, that is definitely subjective. I think there's probably value to them, but I've never liked them. I mean, let me put it this way. I can get a little bit of enjoyment out of their mid-80s stuff, but the 90s stuff, no. And Vulgar Display of Power was just a worse album cover of Fistful of Metal from Anthrax. Like, Fistful of Metal from Anthrax was better than that cover. A Fistful of Metal was literally the jaw of that guy getting punched off, whereas Vulgar Display of Power was just some guy getting punched in the face. So, you know, even on that front, they couldn't do it. So, I mean, what else is there to say? Ugh. I'm going to be doing strong attacks here because I'm really not going to have the time to get 2 attacks out. This is a slow attacking weapon and I have a rather limited opportunity to get an attack out. Oh, that was annoying. I was pushed off target by the tail. Annoyingly. This is dangerous. He's going to do a jump. Oh, no. Flinched him out of it. He's going to do a jump. The jump is what's most dangerous with the prowling demons. I don't like it at all. I really don't like it at all. But it's always something that you can predict because he only does it to sort of reposition himself. It's what his AI does when the AI realizes that you're taking advantage of his position. And so he sort of turns it on you and says, well, I'm going to jump to reposition whilst hitting you at the same time. Which means that you can predict it. Do not need to get hit by this follow-up. Stamina management is very important with these guys too, always dropping the shield after shielding the impact to get more stamina recovered faster, and then getting ready to block the follow-up if it is to come. That is if you're shield reliant. Alternatively, you can just not use a shield at all. That is also an option available to you. Alright, so I will be linking back to Filing Shrine, which means that I'll be actually able to make use of the Firekeeper Soul that's in my inventory, and I will actually be able to turn in 2 of them, because I'll be picking up another one just in the Undead Parish area over here. Sometimes I it's kind of rare, but sometimes he can, the big Black Knight, Black Armored guy, I wouldn't call him a Black Knight because then that would confuse him with the actual enemies called Black Knights. But sometimes he can come and start attacking you from here without even going in there. I think I've seen that happen before. But he's behaving properly this time, at least. I don't know if it's worth parrying him. I sometimes parry him for fun, but because there's no riposta, I don't really like doing it. I can do one at least. No, I missed it. Oh, I'm fucking it up real hard now. Too bad. He's dead anyway. And I believe he only... I think he's got... Usually he'll just drop Titanite or large Titanite. Probably just regular Titanite. I don't know if he has a chance to drop his mace or his armor or anything like that. I don't think he has a chance to drop his armor, but... who knows? Not me, apparently. Apparently, I don't know. We have now looped back to Firelink Shrine. We will use this as our bonfire for the next boss. Not that we really need to. We're going to kill that boss very quickly. But once he is dead, we will make our way to Lower Undead Burg. Before all of that, we will turn in our Firekeeper souls. We are currently sitting on 8,000 souls. My intention is to hold off on consuming any of them until I reach the Darkroot Forest, where I will grind the 20,000 souls that I spent to get there in the first place, and then I will grind an additional 20,000 souls to level up, and then I'll probably leave. That's usually what I do. You can grind more souls if you want. I do think that if you want an easier time with the game, you can just grind enough souls to basically shit on everything that comes your way. But there's no real fun in that, not in my opinion. You can make things easier, just don't turn it into a trivial process. I was in a position where I was able to stun lock him there, but not really, because I didn't have the stamina for it. Because this is a fairly long-ranged weapon, I don't really have to worry about putting myself in harm's way when attacking these guys. Let's see if we can... oh, I see. That's the catch. Ugh. Not as good as I was making it out to be, huh? Not as good as I was making it out to be. This weapon has such good range, so I don't have to worry about putting myself in harm's way. What a load of crap. I mean, it's generally correct, but luck is not on my side today. There's always an element of luck with everything, but today's not my day. Those guys were being empowered by the channeler, for those who are not aware of that fact. And it's a little bit annoying, but I didn't exactly get through too much of the area before dying, so it's not going to take too much time for me to get back there. It is a mistake that I can live with, although I'm a little frustrated by the fact that it happened in the first place. It didn't need to happen. More than anything. Come on. I don't have time to parry you. Why would I? That's a quick and easy way to do it, isn't it? Forget the parry. Just do a double strong attack and completely annihilate him. This is probably not a smart thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. I did it because I felt like for a change I would just go in and muscle my way through things. Usually I try to be a little bit more strategic. A bit more tactical than that. But sometimes being tactical can just result in death, that's the funny thing. Depending on the situation, it actually can serve to do nothing for you. Alright, it is time for the Bell Tower Gargoyles. I will use one of my 2 Gold Pine Resins. Because again, I just don't really use them outside the first 3 bosses, so why would I hold them for some future occasion? I wouldn't do that, so I won't. And I don't really get much use out of it for Quelaag either, to be completely honest. I do end up using one for Quelaag, but honestly I think you get 3 just so that you can use them for the first 2 bosses, and then you get a free one in case you fail one of the attempts. In spite of the incredible damage that you'll have added to your weapon. Come on. Don't delay the inevitable, my friend. Whoa! Alright. Point made. You're pissed off. I should be able to kill him before my Gold Pine Resin runs out. Goodbye. Gold Pine Resin on any weapon is going to be dealing, like, Drake Sword level damage at this point in the game, but it's especially the case with the Zweihander. I don't know how long I'll keep with this Zweihander. I don't know if it's something that I would want to upgrade later on, you know, like make it a Lightning Zweihander. I just don't know. I feel like using this Zweihander at all past the early game is just boring. Because it's so typical. I mean, everyone who has a strength build has a Lightning Zweihander or a Chaos Zweihander or something like that. I just don't really want to bother with that. Shall I use a Homeward Bone? Yes, I think I will. I think I will. I'm sitting on 19,000 souls, which means, well, more than that, I'm sitting on 19,581, I think I saw. Is that correct? Let's see if I'm right. I only saw a flash of it, honestly, but I think that flash is what I read. It's taking a while to get past the loading screen. Oh, almost. 19,857. I flipped a few numbers around and I thought the 7 was a 1. But, you know, close enough. But that's actually better than what I thought. What this means is that I will be able to get 20,000 souls between here and reaching the Undead Parish bonfire. Which is good. Very good. Yes. I feel like I've been on this elevator too many times, given that I feel like I've only just arrived here. Alright, come on. Don't worry about any of that business, just die. To quote Satyricon, die by my hand. I wouldn't mind, you know, I would never do this. But, you know how people have those, I can't even think what they're called now. You know what DJs have where they, like a launch pad, that's what they call it. Where they, you know, have a sound effect on it. I would have, I would say, die, and then I'd hit the thing and Satyr would go, by my hand. But, I mean, that would neither be funny nor, but anyway, I mean, that's an example of one thing that I could do. But the problem is that it would be a reference that maybe 2 people would get, that would ever watch me. So, and it's also not that funny. So, there's that too. Anyway. I just find myself always saying die to enemies. So it would probably work quite a lot. Oh, excuse me. Work rather well. There you go. That's how you speak English. It's a reminder of the phrase, that's what you happen, which I'd like to die forever. I would like it to die the death, but Tron keeps bringing it back. No, I would be the one saying die, and then I would hit the launch pad, and it would say by my hand. If it were repeating die, then I suppose it would have to be the King of Hyrule from CDI Zelda going die. No, excuse me, that was Ganon. I think, yeah, die. It was Ganon who said die. But at least I think so. I hope it was him. I know there was the "you must die," but I don't know if that was the same as the die line. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, that was a long time ago. Speaking of death, that era died pretty quickly. The old CDI days. And people made, I guess it was the YouTube poop community, wasn't it? YouTube poops were fun. I didn't mind them. I didn't watch too many of them though. I think the one that I enjoyed the most was Ash's Retarded Adventure. I tried to find it again somewhat recently because I was reminiscing with Ethan about old stuff that we used to watch on YouTube, like in the early days of YouTube. And I was trying to find Ash's Retarded Adventure and I don't think I was successful in finding it. It was really dumb, but I think I might have found a later episode of it, but it was all re-uploads. None of the original uploads survived, but yeah, Ash's Retarded Adventure was I mean, the funniest thing about it was basically the fact that Pikachu was this thing that used to groan. It would go, ugh! I mean, that's not even a groan, that's more of a... I don't even know how you would describe that. The point is that the, instead of going, instead of saying his name, Pikachu, he would say, leather belt, ugh! And that was, that was the level of the humor, but it was pretty funny. And, that's one thing that I would probably still laugh at today, just as much as I did back then. I don't know what it was referencing. I think that was the beauty of it. It was the fact that I had no idea what the fuck it was referencing. It was just totally random and just weird and so different from, Pikachu making his cute Pikachu noise, and yeah, it was funny, I guess. Ugh. And that was a different time of the internet. So what I'm doing here, obviously for those who haven't seen it, is I am just soul farming, basically. Come on, guys. I'm waiting patiently here and you're not following. I can't believe it. I'm telling you, nothing works in the 360 version. The enemy AI is just ill. Everything about it is just, it's gross. Turns me right off. Come on, get out of here. And what about your friends? Your friends aren't so eager to take me on. Where's the assassin guy? There he is. Come on, guys. Hey, see how he's running up to me right now? He's trying his best to backstab me. If I were to stand still, he would catch up to me and backstab me immediately. Because he's an asshole. Alright, come on. This warrior guy, well, I don't know what to call him. Oh no, never mind, that was the guy who killed himself. The one who's being annoying is the assassin. Come on. Who would have the patience for this? Certainly not me. if you wanted to know whether or not it was me, if I had to be excluded, allow me to do that right now. I haven't the patience for this, so if you could fucking... Yeah, I know. I know all about it. Look, what you're doing right now is not combating me. There is no combat taking place right now. It's you being a dick. Thank you. See now, had you done that 2 minutes ago, I'd be feeling a whole lot better about the situation. Fuck me. Anyway, so that's 10,000 souls. We had spent 20,000 to get at this point. I already have 10,000, but you always get more the first time around because there is a non-respawning enemy who gives 1,000 souls more than everyone else. So basically that's 3,000 souls that you're not going to get in any of the attempts following the initial attempt. Oh, fuck you and all of what you are. Waste of my time. Literally a waste of my time. That's not to suggest that one would say that figuratively, it is to suggest that some would say that in an exaggerated way or as hyperbole, but no, I'm serious, he's wasting my fucking time and I don't need it. I have things to do, like play the game. And he's preventing me from playing it. Instead I'm sitting at loading screens waiting to continue. Ugh. But yeah, I don't really know what to do with armor. In the early game, I probably won't do anything. I'll probably just keep with this, honestly, unupgraded. Because that seems to be what I do. Look, at the end of the day, the defense that you get as you level up in the early game is honestly enough. I don't find upgrading armor to be a necessity before you get to Anor Londo. And even when I'm in Anor Londo, I generally don't even bother. Like, I just wait until I have access to the armor set that I want to make for the end game, and then I upgrade that. Because I don't find myself so in need of defense that I would allocate souls or upgrade materials or both to upgrading an armor set like this, for example. I mean, I've never had such uncooperative AI in one recording. I mean, this whole session, this instance of the game is just awful. Everything is terrible about this and I'm sick of it. Can you please get over here? I mean, I've done this on camera enough already for you guys to know that this is not typical. This is an atypical situation. And I don't appreciate it. I don't particularly want to be here sacrificing my time just to demonstrate to you guys how bad the AI can get. I don't really feel that it's necessary for me to demonstrate that. I'd rather a quick, easy, painless run. Thank you. Anyway. Fuck me sideways. Seriously. But yeah, I do this each time because it's just how I've always done it. I don't have a need to do it. But it's a habit, and I just don't really have a reason to do it any other way. I only do it for new game runs, obviously. New Game Plus and beyond, I wouldn't do it because there's no reason to. So I've obviously experienced getting through this part of the game without doing this plenty of times before because I've done it in New Game Plus and beyond, but for New Game I always do it like this. Just feels right. Alrighty. Let's... I can level up a bit. That's good. 8 times. Shall we leave strength alone? I think so. Would we need more than 10 dexterity? Dexterity would never really have to be beyond 12 to 13, excuse me, 12 to 14 for a strength build. Unless you're obviously doing curved greatswords, but... Actually, I made a mistake. I had incorrectly said previously that curved greatswords have a high dexterity requirement and scale with strength. It's the other way around. High strength requirement and scale with dex. I suppose I could just get vitality out of the way for now. Unless, no, let's put some points into endurance. Let's just do that. I feel like I've put enough points into things that aren't vitality and endurance already, so I'll focus on those for now. Maybe not for the next level up, but at least for that one. In terms of what I'll do after this, I will go to Lower Undead Berg, I will acquire the Large Ember, and I don't know if I'll do any weapon upgrading. Not sure. I'll try to get Quelaag and Ceaseless Discharge done by the end of this recording. That should be doable. It'll only be another 5 to 8 minutes of this before I can level up again. I'd say 5 minutes. That's kind of wishful thinking, to be honest. It's all dependent on the AI. It really is. The AI that is usually most uncooperative is the mage. He often just stands there and casts his magic, never able to hit me because I'm out of his reach, and he just doesn't seem to realise it. He just continues trying over and over and over again. You gonna come up here this time, or are you gonna back away again? You fucking ass. And the priest isn't even here. The priest is just, he's lost. He doesn't know where he is. Gonna have to pick him up. You failure. You're supposed to be here defending the forest, and yet I'm right here and you're just standing there. You call yourself a man of God? You're a bloody disgrace. Yeah, this still works in the remaster. The remaster, I can tell you right now, didn't fix any glitches like this. All they did was add glitches in the remaster. Wasn't much of a remaster. I mean, people really have taken serious exception to paying money for the remaster, or at least paying as much money as they're expected to, because it's not that good of a remaster. All they did was make it slightly... I mean, what can you expect of a remaster of a game that came out in 2011, right? I mean, 2011... Games in 2011 weren't that archaic, okay? They can only be improved upon so much if you're going to call it a remaster. But while this game, when it came out, did have some issues, ironing those out isn't going to leave you with a flawless game. And I can tell you right now, I mean, flawless in terms of the spirit behind its creation and what it was as a game, but if you look at it objectively, there were certain issues, like this, for example, like the AI. Like, there is no AI overhaul in the remastered version. Let's enunciate in such a way as to not indicate that I am extremely inept when it comes to speaking the English language. Yeah, no real major changes to the remastered version. The only real difference is that it performs a little better, honestly, and there are some quality of life improvements, such as a bonfire in the Vamos area. There's a slight change to the animation for drinking Estus flasks, and some visual effects have been updated. They look a little better. Not amazingly better, but better nonetheless. And yeah, that's really all there is to say. I've played the remastered version for one playthrough, and that one playthrough was with Ethan. Ethan hadn't played Dark Souls before, so he didn't own it, and he was not going to spend ridiculous amounts of money to get this version, so he got the remastered version, and so I got the remastered version to play with him, because you can't play with people in the remastered version if you're playing on the original version. This is on PC. So I played the remastered version only to play with Ethan. Not that I was never planning on playing the remastered version, but I wasn't planning on playing it so soon. And, yeah, I still haven't played it outside of playing with Ethan, but that's the reason why I know what I know. Otherwise I would know nothing about the remastered version and how different it would be. But I have actually sat down and played it, and it was not really any different from what I was used to. And with the game that I am so familiar with, I would immediately notice any major difference. And yeah, there were some differences, but you know, maybe some things you wouldn't pick up on in one single playthrough, but I have it on good authority, and that authority is me, that It's basically the same game. So yes, things like this do still work. And there are even extra glitches that weren't here in this version that you can make use of. Here we go. How insulting is that? He fails to hit you, so he just walks off. He actually gives up. How pathetic. If you could actually just try repositioning, you would fall to your death. I mean, it wouldn't be good for you, but it'd be what I'm looking for. Alright, so that's going to conclude this soul farming period. I think I farmed a total of about 60,000 in the previous build when I was doing this, but this is enough. I'm good enough. Or I'm happy enough with this. Let's take you to 20. And I'll take you to 19. It's important that I put points into endurance. But I think that will suffice. No, I did not play the Final Fantasy VII Remake because I don't think I played the first Final Fantasy VII, like the original one. I would never play a remake before playing the original one, because then I would have nothing to compare it to. I'm not necessarily going to decry any person who chose to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake without having played the original, but why would you? I personally don't understand it. I think if you're going to play a remake of a game, you have to know how it compares. But, you know, some people don't play games to be informed about what they're playing. They play games because they just want to play a game. Which is fine, but that's not how I operate, so. But yeah, I've played some older Final Fantasy games, I just don't remember what they were. I don't have a memory of which games they were, because it was sort of at the beginning of my life as a gamer. But, yeah. I might have played 7, but not very much. Not enough to even remember it, so. Yeah. Based on that, I would say that I haven't played it, and it is on that basis that I didn't end up touching the remake. I will one day, I think, play it, but no, not yet, and no, I will not be playing it anytime soon. At this point, I think it is time to go to Lower Undead Burg. Ahaha! I haven't picked up the basement key. Let's go and do that now. I'm glad I remembered that. My brain snapped in gear and realised, oh yeah. This idiot doesn't have the basement key yet. Well, maybe calling myself an idiot is a bit over the top. Can you actually cease your behaviour? Can you emulate it? Final Fantasy VII? Yeah, it's pretty old. It is definitely something that can be emulated. Oh, you've got to be joking. I can't believe I didn't kill myself there. I didn't intend to jump. I was just, you know, casually letting go of whatever this button is, B, to rest my finger, and I'm performing a jump. Maybe my finger slipped off the button and, you know, repressed it or some crap, I don't know. I didn't intend to perform a jump, that's all I can tell you. But fortunately it didn't kill me, so I can be glad of that. Go away. No comment, seriously. No comment. I have no comment on that scenario either, that failed backstab. Ugh. Come on. I know about your friend to the left as well. I know all about him. And he's gonna die. Bye-bye, hag. Yeah, go and parry that, dickhead. See what you can do. Parry this, eh? That can be your punishment for healing. This is an honor duel, man. No healing in an honor duel. I will not allow for such behavior. Yes, I did hear about all the nonsense. Well, maybe it's not nonsense to some people. It's nonsense to me because it's, you know... Why would anyone have the time to keep up on people being offended in this day and age? But, yeah, Blizzard apparently have been very naughty. And they've done bad things or something, and people say it's not good enough. Angry fist waving, and, yeah. PR nightmare for Blizzard. Now, they might have actually done something really bad, I don't know, but unfortunately we live in a climate now where you don't really have to do something too terrible to get the whole of the internet and the whole of the everyone in the world doing this, you know. We want better. I'm upset. I demand for you to be, I don't know, abolished. That's the current world we live in, and quite frankly, I have checked out of that complete crap. I haven't the time for it. But, I mean, yeah, I realise that Blizzard are not currently viewed in good favour. And quite frankly, I think they've always been a company not really worth... Well, they were probably alright in the early days of World of Warcraft, but then by the time they were bought out by Activision, which I hadn't found out about until like a few days ago, incidentally. They were bought by Activision in 2008 and I didn't even know. But, yes. I think they've always been a company, or at least for a long time, they've been a company worth taking issue with, but apparently they overstepped the mark and they made people upset, so now everyone's angry. Or something. Apparently it's actually something really bad, as you say. Well, there you go. Still not really anything that would bother me too much, but... yeah. Blizzard have been very naughty, and put them in the naughty corner for what they've done. At the very least, their PR guys fucked up. They obviously couldn't contain this firestorm. Ow. Yeah, people will forget about it in 2 years. It's not a big deal. Well, maybe they won't. Who knows? But yeah, the internet has the fucking attention span of what you'd expect. I mean, if you look at the current world of gaming and game-related entertainment, don't expect there to be much of an attention span for the wrongdoing of Blizzard. Or anything relating to that. People forget, you know. Blizzard will come out with a game that they like and they'll be like, oh my god, I'm buying Blizzard stock. Actually, I don't want to go this way. Come to think of it. Why am I going this way? I'm getting some extra souls at least. That's one good thing. No, they lost half of their player base because fucking Final Fantasy XIV came out. Here's the thing, it coincides with that. I think the timing's very interesting, yes, but I believe that it was more to do with the fact that Final Fantasy XIV was just better than World of Warcraft. And so a bunch of people have moved on to that now. I'm sure some of them would like to say that they're playing Final Fantasy XIV now because Blizzard have done the wrong thing, but I think most people who are addicted enough to play World of Warcraft continuously are addicted enough to be able to separate the actions of Blizzard as a company and the video game that they love. So that might be a very cynical way to look at it, but, you know, it's not to do with cynicism relating to regular human beings, it's cynicism related to people who play World of Warcraft. And I don't have much, I don't really hold them in the highest esteem, to be completely honest with you. Some of them are fine, I'm sure, but, you know, I just don't trust that their player base would be so willing to boycott on that basis. But yeah, it's more to do with Final Fantasy XIV taking off like a fucking whipped greyhound. But, can you... Okay, the doors have opened now. Stop! But yeah, the success of Final Fantasy XIV is, as I understand it, much of the reason why they've lost so much of their player base. But I would assume that it obviously doesn't help that they're currently embroiled in some kind of bad PR, whatever you call it, moment. How the fuck are you guys not dead when I attack you in that way? I can't believe he can actually parry that. You guys are so annoying. The problem with these guys, you can see they can get an attack out on me because they're using daggers much faster than I can attack them. And oh, you know what I should have done? I should have acquired the Wolf Ring. I'm an idiot. Parry that. Parry that. I swear to God, man. Get out of here. Now, that was a mistake, not picking up the Wolf Ring, because that was the entire reason why I was having trouble killing them. It was because they were hitting me and flinching me before I could carry out a full swing of my sword. So that was related to poise, and that would never have happened if I had picked up the Wolf Ring. But I'm not that smart, obviously. Well, it's not a matter of being smart or dumb or anything like that. It's a matter of just not thinking to pick up the Wolf Ring, probably because I was preoccupied with other discussions and other thoughts. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, slow attacking weapon with low poise versus these guys is an actual waste of life. It's a waste of my life. I knew that was... I thought that was my death. Turns out that it wasn't. Don't you fucking circle around for a backstab, you motherfucker. I've never had so much difficulty with these guys, to be completely honest with you. Because I usually have one of two things, if not both. Either a fast attacking weapon or the Wolf Ring. So, low poise versus these guys, plus a slow attacking weapon, undesirable, is how I would describe that. Fuck off. I apologise for the poor performance of the game, blame the fire, okay? How is that not close enough to... Don't you dare poison me. I do not need this right now. And then this guy's healing. So much for an honor duel. Not that that had been agreed upon, but you know. Maybe I misunderstood the situation. Maybe he looked at me a certain way and I thought, you know, we had a mutual understanding that we were both honourable men. Sometimes I come out with a load of shit when I talk. And that would be one of those moments. Okay. Now, I could use the gold pine resin here, but the thing is, Cap Demon is not really in need of dying that quickly. Can you fuck off? I should be able to one-shot these dogs anyway. What the fuck was... I did not intend to consume that. What a complete joke. This is just... Oh, look who's already fallen down and has therefore killed me. Oh my god. I don't even want to talk about that. Now, I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but it's the D-pad. I was doing things on the D-pad that I didn't intend to do, and consequently I was consuming fucking poison moss clumps instead of Estus flasks, so my timing was off with that, and then Capra had fallen down much sooner than I expected him to. Like, he basically slipped off the edge, is what he really did. You guys are probably going, oh, there was an audio cue to suggest that he'd fallen down long before you fell down, Doomlink. Well, guess what? My TV volume's kind of low, so I didn't hear it. And second of all, I didn't have eyes on him because there was a big fucking bush in the way. There was a giant bush. And there was nothing to be seen. So, there you go. That's the way it is. I wonder if my friend wants to watch anime today. I'll ask him. Not now, but I'll ask him later on. I really didn't want to go the long way here, but I'm kind of forced to. So fucking stupid. I'm just going to run through Lower Undead after this. I'm not even I mean, this is a stupid idea, to be completely honest. It's only going to worsen the situation, really, if I fail, but I'm not going to rest at the Undead bonfire. I'm going to stick with 10 Estus Flasks here. Fuck off, go away. Not that resting at that bonfire is going to give me 5, but anyway. Look, at the end of the day, as in, you know, reduce the current number of Estus Flasks I have. It's not going to do that. I will kill these dogs, this is fine. I don't mind killing. You know, who would have fucking thought that not getting the wolf ring would actually result in such misery? I mean, I can't fucking believe it. It's incredible. I mean, you wouldn't think, would you? But no, it is actually causing my failure in this location. The amount of adversity that I've had to overcome here is disproportionate, I'll tell you that. It's more than anyone should have to deal with. Okay. Let's try that again. Fuck me sideways. Now, should be safe to run through just as long as we're shielding them. And I don't like Capra Demon. I've never liked Capra Demon. He's a fucking ass. Now, I was supposed to roll through the Capra Demon attack, but let me give you a short rundown on how I just stood there and took the hit. Basically, I was going to roll, but I got flinched by a dog and therefore couldn't roll. Alright, Capra Demon fell that time. I was able to confirm that with my own 2 eyes. Hello, you're already swinging at me. Just in time to hit me as I fall. What's the deal with that? Yeah, you can do... Oh, fuck off. Straight through the stairs. Just what I like. I'd like to do a drop attack on you. I've gone two-handed. Yep. Or you can fail to drop because there's a tree in the way. That's something else that can happen. That's actually quite fine. I was hoping to get you on the fall there. Yep, and then he falls on me. Prevents me from hitting him during the moment in time where I have the opportunity to do so. I managed to get the drop attack, but that was still pathetic. Not very impressive at all. I went too far for a drop attack to succeed there. I think I can flinch him with 2 of those, but I can't get them out fast enough for it to actually be a viable strategy. He doesn't even flinch with that strong attack there. What a dick. Has anyone ever told you that you're insufferable? Well, let me be the first if no one has. That was intended to be a jump attack. You can jump attack, well so can I. We're jump attacking each other. Come on, do it again, do it again. Nah. I was having too much fun. Yeah, you wouldn't die from that now, would you? That'd be too easy. Fucking ass. Alright, oh hello, look, it's the fucking victory welcome party. Can you have both a victory party and a welcome party all at once? Well, I can tell you one thing, the fact that these guys have a tiny sliver of health left when I successfully connect a strong attack with them is a complete insult. I hate that. No person should have to put up with that crap. And certainly not me. Can you... I mean, I literally pressed the Y button twice, and on both occasions, the game was like, no, you're still two-handing. Sorry, Doomling. I mean, what's the point of pressing a button? Seriously. Alright, yeah, I know you're alive. I know all about it. Go take it. Take it like a man. Fucking... Ugh. Awful. Alright. Brief journey into the depths. Actually, I suppose I'll open the way to the female undead merchant first. I know all about you. Or I could, you know, totally miss that attack. That's another option available to me, of course, and I can't even do that attack because, I mean, I need the wolf ring. I'm actually going to take a detour. I mean, what would be ideal is homeward boning to Firelink Shrine and then making my way to Quelaag, but no. Instead, I'm going to have to go all the way back to the Darkroot Garden to go and pick up the wolf ring because I need it, clearly. I think it has been very, very clearly demonstrated that it is, at this time, a necessity. Not just a thing that might be helpful, no, it's going to be incredibly helpful. I have 0 poise, that's why a dagger can flinch me so terribly. Well, there you go, that's open for when I need to purchase Homeward Bones in the future. I have nothing to purchase with her at this time, I'm really not interested. Excuse me, I'm really not interested in her wares. She also sells transient curses if you do run out of them when you are going through New Londo Ruins. It does happen sometimes. Usually only if you're really struggling in there. If you're dying a lot, and you just don't have transient curses left, well, you'll have to buy them there. At least they are something that you can buy. Oh, fuck. Keep forgetting about the one from behind. I always seem to forget about him. I've never committed him to memory. I don't know why. I'm always taken by surprise by that guy from behind. At the very least, he's not going to be dealing much damage to me, but... yeah, I just, for some reason, can't remember that he's there. Hello. Of course, you have to be a bit more careful with the torch-wielding guys. The reason why I swung before he did anything was because I knew that they had the running attack, but he took so long to find his target. I mean, could it be any clearer that the AI is just awful in this particular run? I don't know. See, now that's the idea. You hit them with the attack as they're running towards you, but you begin the attack before they start running towards you. That's the whole idea. But if they instead decide to, you know, walk on the spot an extra 2 times more than you're expecting, then, yeah, you miss. It's what happens. And it's annoying. Okay. Can play Mad Butcher by Destruction in this moment, which is a good song, actually. Very good song. I love Destruction, they're such a good band. Imagine being such a good band. Although I hated the, I think it was the 1987 album, that album had no bass. No low end at all, it was all like, awful, awful production on that album. Really good songs, but just fucking terrible production. I don't know what they were thinking. I think there was like a bass guitar in it, but just no low-end presence whatsoever. It was just, ugh. I mean, I've heard worse. You've got... was it... can't remember the word. Was it anthropophagy? Anthropophagy. That's not how you pronounce it. I can't... yeah, whatever that 1987 album by Volcano, I think it... yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Volcano. That was... if you want the most... okay, if you want to experience true ear fatigue, listen to Red Death by Volcano. V-U-L-C-A-N-O. Red Death. Oh. Now, I'm pretty good with lo-fi music. I'm really good with it. But that fucking song... that whole album hurts my ears. It hurts. Like, I'm genuinely feeling pain. Within 10 seconds, my ears hurt. It's just, oh, I can't do it. Anthropophagy. I'm just not familiar with the word, that's half the issue. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, I don't know how I got on that subject. Anyway, well, I do know how, but regardless, I don't know if we're going to upgrade this sword. What other options do we have for strength weapons in the near future that would possibly make it so that I don't want to allocate my current upgrade materials to this weapon? I don't know. Let's think about it. Ultra great swords. I think the standard greatsword, as in, you know, the ultra greatsword called greatsword, I think that's only something that can be purchased. I don't seem to remember a place where it's picked up in this game. And I can't seem to even remember who you buy it from, but anyway, maybe it's the guy in Sen's Fortress or something. Other ultra greatswords. Basically, all the high strength scaling ultra greatswords and strength based weapons in this game are the demon ones. You know, the demon's great axe, the demon great machete, the demon great hammer. Those are your strength weapons. Those are your really good strength weapons. And I guess I could upgrade this thing. It's really basic and standard, but I guess I'll do it. What part of Japanese culture is my favorite? It's really hard to say. I suppose at the end of the day it's the respect factor. Now, I don't say respect in the sense that, you know, when you speak to another person, you are respectful. That's a really basic interpretation of the Japanese value of respect. It's so deeply rooted in their culture that it has an incredibly wide effect on everything in the country. Just everything, you know, the way they respect their surroundings, the way they, you know, it's such a clean country and there's so little crime, and it's because they just value that concept of respect. They respect, you know, physical objects. You know, they're taught basically to, you know, things like theft are just not common there because it's, you know, they just respect people's belongings and the environment in which they live, and yeah, I suppose it would be the notion of respect, but more than anything else, it would be, you know, just a willingness to behave in a measured and appropriate way. I don't like the aspect to Japanese respect that leads them to be a little bit repressed. You know, they don't really get to express themselves in the way that they truly are as individuals, because there's this cultural expectation of respect socially. I think that's a problem, but it's something I'd be willing to be assimilated into personally. Like, I'd be totally happy to engage in that personally. I think that, you know, humans are pretty useless creatures. I think we perform better under stricter rules. I think stricture is important for humans because if you leave us to our own devices, we cause destruction. That's what we are. So I think, you know, even though part of me just doesn't like it, I think I see the value in it. I really do. But it does, of course, bring about other issues. Of course, there's, you know, at the end of the day, there are negative aspects to that as well. But anyway, Hello, Shinobu. You just finished playing Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. As in, you've just finished a session of playing it? Or you've just finished the game? Or... But yeah, that's great to hear. It's a very good game. It's hard for some people to go back to when they're used to modern Monster Hunter, but it was by far the best game of its time in the series, and yeah. I think we need 9 in total, there we go. And I'll upgrade you to +5. Because that seems like a sensible decision. As boring as it is, I'll do whatever's necessary. I do not have a large Titanite shard, so I cannot take you to +6. But our current damage is 257, which is 57 more than the Drake Sword. In case anyone wanted to know, but maybe that doesn't mean too much to some people because the Drake Sword attacks much faster than this weapon does, but there you go. That's 260 now, but I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to put 1 point into Endurance just to put it, or rather take it to 20 and then leave it alone. Maxed out everything. What's that supposed to mean? You can't just... What's everything? You can't max out everything in Freedom Unite. Unless you're telling me that you forged every armor piece and fully upgraded that, forged every weapon, fully upgraded that, completed your guild card. I mean, max out everything does not make sense in the context of the game Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. Unless you actually did do that, which is a considerable feat. If you haven't bought a PS2 yet, then I would personally recommend that you emulate. You don't have to. It's up to you. If you really are the sort of person who prefers to play on the original system, then you're welcome to do that. But I would personally recommend playing the PS2 games emulated, because it's just easier to play online. There is support for online play in the PS2 Monster Hunter games, specifically Monster Hunter G and Monster Hunter 1 in both the Japanese and English versions. I play the Japanese version of Monster Hunter 1 these days, with the intention of eventually carrying that over to a Monster Hunter G save, once I have acquired materials from Crimson Fatalis and Kirin in the high rank of Monster Hunter 1 online. So yeah, that's the situation there, and I just recommend that you do that. I think it's a better experience to emulate personally, but if you don't want to, then that's fine too. I've said what I've needed to say. But believe me, I've got the game. I own it myself, don't you worry about that. It's Monster Hunter for PlayStation 2, that's the PAL version. Sadly, it says at the top, with netplay. Not anymore. Not anymore. Or at least not native support for it. Well, there's support for it, but the official server's closed, I believe, in 2008. I think the Japanese servers were up until 2011. But I'm pretty sure the North American and European servers, if there were two different ones, which I would assume there were, I believe those closed in 2008. Well, feel free to play on a physical copy first. I just wouldn't want to invest time into a character that I was just going to leave for the emulated version anyway, but I guess you can carry the saves over. That's actually an option. No, I don't play any instruments, although I'm a musical person by nature. In other words, I compose music in my mind, but I just don't really play instruments. I'd like to, but I don't know why. I've always been... My time has been taken up with other things in my life. Learning an instrument is such an incredible time sink that I've just never been able to... I've never been able to do it. I think, you know, everyone has their own creative output. The thing that they engage with to create. For some people that's a musical instrument. For me it's been writing. I'm a writer. And I think it's for that reason that I've never felt this compulsion to sit down with a musical instrument and learn it. Like so many do. But I learned musical instruments when I was younger, but because I've never been good with structured lessons of anything, I'm very much a hands-on, learn how to do something on their own sort of person, rather than, you know, doing structured lessons and theory-based learning. Theory-based learning is fine, but not for something like a musical instrument. I don't like that. I've never liked music theory. Music theory has all my life gone in one ear and out the other. I've never taken any interest in that crap. I feel like music theory for me is almost like a left brain interpretation of a very right-brained process, which may or may not be an accurate way to describe that, but that's how it's always felt. It's not about what it is, it's about how it feels. That's what it feels to me to be. So I've never cared about music theory. Not that you asked, but, you know, that's part of the reason why I've never really bothered. Yeah, of course I have original works. It's not for others to read, though. I don't... yeah, don't worry about it. All I mean to say is that it's, you know, everyone has their own thing that they have as their means to get out creativity, if they are creative types. You know, not everyone's a creative type. But for me, it's been writing, so... yeah. Stop that. I'm going to go for the backstab and hope that I'm not hit by these guys. Fortunately not. Fortunately that did not happen. Oh, can you actually fuck off? Not good. Now, the problem with what just happened there was that I thought Maneater Mildred succeeded in backdashing out of my range. She did not. But that would have been pretty nasty had she succeeded in that. Now, the butcher knife is pretty good in the early game as a strength weapon, but the Zweihänder at this point is superior, I think. Is it a C scaling yet? It is. Okay, that's good. That's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine for us to continue using this. Now, what's ridiculous is that I did have a purple moss clump, but I used it accidentally during the fucking... whatever he's called. Capra Demon boss fight. Oh god, I love it when my game drops to like 2 FPS. That's my favourite thing in the whole world. It really is. Have I played the Dragon Quest series? No. I've played one Dragon Quest game, and that was Dragon Quest Swords on the Wii, which has received quite unfair criticism from people. I think it's, you know, you can't treat it as a mainline iteration in the series. If it were called, you know, I don't know what number Dragon Quest game it could have been if it were a mainline game, but it was not named such that, you know, it could be interpreted as a mainline game, but, yeah. No, I do not listen to Paul Gilbert. I think I've heard of him, but no. What era is he? Whoa. Not a fan of that. Of course, you'll just have to forgive the terrible performance of the game during this boss fight. Hopefully this is over and done with fairly quickly. Oh, I never did go and get the... God, I'm stupid. I went all that way to the Undead Parish bonfire and didn't end up getting the wolf ring. I mean, I obviously did get something done while I was there. I went and turned it. This is so bad. I'm gonna die. I mean, there's nothing I could have fucking done. I was actually stuck in that position where I was. What a complete joke. That's alright. Because I conducted reverse hollowing at that bonfire, which means that will serve as my spawn point, so... At least I'm not returning to the Firelink Shrine bonfire. That's alright. I can live with that. It's just incredibly fucking annoying. But yeah, annoyingly I do not have the wolf ring, but I'll pick it up before I take on Sen's Fortress. That I will try to. Promise you. Come to think of it, I'm fast rolling now and I hadn't even noticed. I hadn't even noticed that I was fast rolling. How funny is that? I'm not the most observant chap. I think you'll find. That is really funny. Alright, we'll give that another try. This attempt should be more successful. I know now that I can quite reliably roll out of any bad situation, which is good to know. I feel less restricted in my play now. Knowing that I can fast roll. There's an example of it. Right there. 104 damage. You know, whenever I fight Quelaag, I'm always very, very underpowered for her. Man-Eater Mildred often ends up doing at least half of the damage. Probably more. I almost always summon her because it makes sense to summon her. I have no real reason not to. That's good damage then. I was probably covering part of the health bar there. But you should be able to see that fairly well. I'm going to have to keep on top of my health here. That was stupid. She's aiming for Mildred, but I have to be careful not to stand in the way. Man-Eater Mildred has good survivability if she doesn't get stuck in the lava, which she does all the time. She's always getting stuck in the lava, so she dies quickly. I'm doing good damage here if I go two-handed with RTs. Goodbye. It's stupid that I failed the first attempt, but I felt like there was no helping it at that time. Do I want to use the Soul of Quelaag for anything here? No. I will consume it. But I won't consume it right now. I'll wait until after Ceaseless Discharge has been dispatched. Skip the cutscene. Again, I do have to make sure that I actually ring the bell. Let's not forget that in my PS3 playthrough, in other words, the first one that I did in this series on camera, I did not ring the bell. And that was the second time that I had failed to ring the bell in recent months in this game. And that was really sad. Because it's an incredible waste of time to go all the way to the Undead Parish expecting the gate to be open to Sen's Fortress, only to see that it's still closed after you've just returned from this area that I'm in right now. I mean, that is an incredible waste of time. I could do Sen's Fortress as well. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good at the moment. I feel like I could continue for a while. Let's see how things go. If I feel like I am in good stead to continue through the entirety of another area of the game, and I will do so. And I might do the same with Anor Londo. We'll just have to see what happens. Things start to slow down when you... Oh, I'm forgetting what I'm doing. I was moving as if I was heading to Lost Izalith. Definitely not happening quite yet. Or happening just yet. But, yeah, things start to slow down a bit when you start to work on the build. In other words, you don't do things that involve moving through the game itself. You know, killing bosses, clearing areas, and all of that. But if you're focused on clearing areas, it's easy to just knock things off. It's easy to just focus on that. You know, I wonder if our armor would be worse than the... I could equip that. Is that gonna... Oh, now I'm mid-rolling. Ew. I'm enjoying the mid-rolls. But yeah, I was just considering if the gold hemmed set would end up having higher defense than this, and I think it would. Certainly the legs, at least. Yeah, the defense for the legs, or the, I guess, almost the waist piece slash legs, or whatever, of the gold hemmed set has 32 defense, I think. The catch for the gold hemmed set is that it cannot be upgraded, which is a shame, but it's understandable. The reason why they don't allow it to be upgraded is because of its high fire defense. It's probably the highest fire defense armor set in the game. Because it belonged to a pyromancer. That's the theory behind it. You don't want to go too fast through here, you know. I've been shown that going too fast can actually be bad too. This could actually be me going too fast right now, but if that were the case, I would have been hit already, so we should be fine. Going too fast will usually get you hit by that fire that he throws up when he first gets upset. But he can end up slamming his leg down right on top of you sometimes if you're too fast. I think, anyway. I could be wrong about that. That might be a false memory, but I seem to recall that. It could be a memory of me going too slow, and I'm thinking that it's me going too fast. But, yeah, anyway. There you go, he's doing his jump. Get our stamina back. It's a bit of a slow process here. This should knock him down. No? There you go. Good night. Goodbye. Goodbye. I still don't understand how that works. I'll never understand it. It just doesn't look like he's falling to his death. Because you have to understand that he disappears before he's physically hit anything, and why would that be enough to kill him? Why would that fall kill him? I just don't... I've never understood that, personally. I've fought him in the legitimate way many times. I obviously did that when I was first playing this game. I didn't realise that that exploit existed when I was first playing, because the game was brand new, basically. But, yeah. What I used to do was I'd just go inside, which is, I'm assuming, the correct way to do it. You just go inside the path that sort of coils around the back, and you let his leg go through the terrain. That's weird, but yeah, you're trying to avoid the impact and then go in range to hit the leg that he slams down, and then you go back again, and it's very slow because he's got a lot of defense. But yeah, it's a whole lot faster when you do that, and so I will always, forevermore, fight him in that way. So now we regrettably have to make our way all the way back to Firelink Shrine, and you know, some people don't appreciate this. I mean, I haven't necessarily heard people complain about this aspect to Dark Souls 1. Because it used to just be standard. It used to just be how the Souls series was. That you couldn't just warp at will. But now that you can do that in the later games, I'm sure people come back to this and don't appreciate having to run long distances from place to place. I I don't mind it. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit of a journey, mainly because I've made the journey so many times in the past. That's the main reason why. It's not the journey itself, it's the fact that I've made it so many times before that gives me concern, or rather, leaves me a little annoyed, but... Okay, this is disgusting. This fucking frame rate. Now that's a whole lot better. How is it fine here, and then I turn this way and it's just... It is an absolute dog's dinner when I turn it this way. I mean, this is so bad. Look at that. What the actual flying shit? What the airborne fecal matter? Anyway. What's my throat doing? It's like I've got something in it. Do you ever swallow when it feels like there's something in your throat, but you don't think there is? Oh god. Maybe I need to drink some water. Let me do that. I'll get a glass of water. My throat's like not happy with me right now. Sort of like a sharp feeling in my throat. No. No, I'm being attacked. Bad. Don't knock me off. Stop all of this. Stop it right now. Stop. Drink. Holy fuck. I'm just trying to drink my bloody water. That's the sound of my controller vibrating, by the way. That's what I was hearing. I was hearing the sound of my controller vibrating, and that's never a good sign in a Souls game. Don't know what my throat's doing, but yeah, wasn't very happy there. It's better now. Excuse the crazy hand. It's because of my very strict settings for my chroma key, as necessitated by the non-existent lighting. Well, non-existent natural lighting. If there was non-existent lighting, you wouldn't be able to see me. Okay, that's how that works. Thank you, Doomlink. The non-existent natural lighting. Hopefully I'm not developing a sore throat. I'm concerned about that. I haven't had a sore throat in a long time. It directly impacts my ability to record a video, so... or do a live stream or anything like that. So... yeah, hopefully not. I'd hate that. I think it was 2018 into 2019. There was a 6 to 8 month period where I not once but twice came down with some sort of sickness that completely stole my voice. I could not speak. Now I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but like I didn't have a voice. My voice was gone. It was terrible. It was just... there's nothing worse than just not being able to speak. It's terrible. And it really gives you a moment to appreciate what you have. You don't even have to be like me and have a major hobby that you engage with on an almost daily basis involve speaking. Just, you know, you take for granted the ability to just talk to people when you need to. But when you literally cannot talk, there's just nothing that comes out, it's awful. It's really, really awful. Now, people who've never been able to do it, it's not as bad, because they don't know what they're missing out on, you know. That's rare. That's rare. That I actually forget to kill Lautrec. That's rare. Okay, well, I'll be able to demonstrate that at least. I'll demonstrate it once and then I'll never do it again, how about that? The Dingy set's actually pretty good. Like, the resistances that this thing has, and the defense that it has, given its weight, are pretty good. Don't know about the other stuff though. But yeah, seriously, that's annoying, because basically this means this bonfire can't be used, and I consider this to be a major bonfire, and I hate not being able to use it, but we won't have to deal with that for too long. Welcome back. It turns out that I forgot to kill Lautrec, and I'm an idiot, but that's fine. Again, I won't have to live with it for too long. I'm only 2 bosses away from being able to invade him. Now, I think I'm able to invade him after killing Smo, right? It's been so long. I hope I can do it before killing Smo. Well, Ornstein and Smo. I should be able to. I'm just concerned that if I leave it to after I've killed Ornstein and Smo, they won't let me invade him, and then consequently I will not be able to heal her. Which would be a shame, but... or return her to her place. Heal, revive, whatever you want to say. We have some souls to consume, so I will do so. I didn't end up picking up any large shards of Titanite, which is a really dumb thing, but whatever. Let's go and consume... Well, I'd like to equip these 4, hold on, down to here. There we go. But yes, the Black Eye Stone, or Black Eye Orb, whatever they call it in this game, allows you to invade Dark Anor where Lautrec and his buddies are hanging around. When you kill him and his friends, you are able to restore the Firekeeper of Firelink Shrine to her place, and she will be able to speak again. Which is quite nice, story-wise, but it's just a thing that I'd rather not have to deal with. So I generally don't allow that to happen. I just kill him and get the 6 humanity from killing him, as well as the Ring of Favor and Protection, which people very awkwardly used to call the Fap Ring, and likely still do, which I have always found to be really dumb. Just... anyway. I mean, maybe I take it all too seriously, don't I? But I don't know if I need higher dexterity than 10. I feel like I should confirm this right now, and I will. Because I don't want to regret it later when leveling up costs a lot. So I'm going to check weapons like the Demon Great Machete, for example, to see what the dexterity requirements are. Just type machete. Demon Grey Machete. No dexterity requirement at all. Not even 10. 0 is required. Demon Axe. Demon Great Axe. Yeah, no dexterity requirement. Great Hammer. I won't be making Smo's hammer, by the way, because it blocks so much of your vision when you're trying to play. It's just ridiculous. It's cool, but it's not. It's nice at first, and then you realize, wow, this sucks. So, no. I'm not interested. Okay, I think I'll leave dexterity at 10. I don't seem to have a reason to upgrade it further, so I don't think I will. What is the scaling like on the Demon's Great Hammer? B? With 345 at plus 15. I guess that's good. I guess that's good. It's not as good as the Demon Great Machete, but it's fine. Alright. Catch you later, Jonathan, and thanks for sticking around. So, with that in mind, and I believe 32 is a pretty reasonable number to halt strength progression at for now, I think we'll put some more points into endurance to compensate for what will in future be great shields being used. I don't really have a great shield to use just yet, but I think I will soon, so I'll start upgrading my endurance to compensate for that. But for the moment, it's nice to be able to fast roll with his Zweihander. I'm enjoying that. Come on. Unfortunately, wasn't able to riposta given that he was above me on the stairs. That's an annoying thing that I can't really help. This is what happens when you're half looking at one man's serpent and then looking at the other. Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Who has the... I mean, I have no interest in this crap. This absolute crap. Fuck off. Get out. He's not even dead. Hello. Can you please leave me alone? Down you go. Fucking prick. Can I get through this area with 5 Estus Flasks? Is that probable? Is that realistic? I hope so. I hope I haven't made an error in continuing on in spite of this. I would consider that to be a setback, but, well, technically I'll be continuing with 4. How about that? I think I can handle that. After that pathetic performance, I shouldn't be filled with too much confidence, but whatever. Let's get a better parry this time. Hopefully he gets knocked down. If he doesn't, then it's not a big deal. I'll just roll over to this side and deal with him over here. I just don't want to have to... Here we go, he might get knocked off. He does get knocked off, it's just he's very well protected, I have to say. It's hard to knock him off. But anyway, what was I going to say? I was saying something, but obviously wasn't too important. Oh, I hate that. Getting pushed backwards by this guy's magic is terrible. Because you can see what happens as a result. I'm trying not to move excessively when swinging my weapon here. Fortunately, the pressure plate was depressed by the weight of this enemy, and consequently he hit himself with the trap that he sprung upon himself. Speaking of traps sprung upon enemies, well, he didn't really activate that himself, but you know. I didn't get the wolf ring! Fuck me! What's wrong with me? Well, that's fine, let's go and get the... I remembered as soon as I was thinking about this ring, the ring of steel protection. And I thought, no, I can't use that, I'm using the wolf ring, and then I realised, no, I didn't get it. Fuck. How annoying is that? Still sitting on 0 poise, I mean, that's a challenge run in and of itself, honestly. To play through the game with 0 poise. Fucking awful, honestly. That was a nice blood stain on the screen there. I'll wait for the next one, just to get the best possible timing. Come on, baby. Don't stand too close to it, otherwise you will get knocked back. Even though it's in violation of the physics of the situation. Do we want to rescue What's his face? No, Logan does not need rescuing today. We shall leave him in his cage. I have no reason to rescue him with my strength build here. Oh, fuck right off. I mean, it would be on the Xbox version, wouldn't it? I always run straight through here and never have to worry about getting hit. Never. But this time, it happened, and I don't know why. I'm telling you, that has to be a once-in-a-million scenario where I actually just run through there, as I always do, and end up taking a hit. I mean, I can't believe it, personally. It's completely ridiculous. Get the fuck out. Alrighty, there's another one up here. The last thing you want is to get boxed in by both of them. I feel like I'm not really doing enough damage to these guys. And I might be right. But I'll be purchasing some more. Did I end up getting black firebombs? I hope I did. If I didn't... Well... I guess I'm going to try and do this with this guy here. Which is never good. Would not recommend what I'm doing right now. This is very dangerous. This is as dangerous as it gets. Do not do this. Bad idea. But anyway. I was reasonably confident that I was going to succeed there, but the thing is that it decreases your chances of success, we'll put it that way, when that guy is alive. Can't remember where I get black firebombs, because I often have them in my inventory for that moment, but whatever. Fortunately, I'm still alive since conducting reverse hollowing to bring Man-Eater Mildred back. But... yeah, well, there's no buts, actually. That was unnecessary. I will be able to summon Iron Tarkus on this life as well. And that's a positive. I've got some large Titan Knight here. Currently sitting on 4. Which is good. I only have to buy another 5. I might go for the parry here. So bad for my stamina. Hopefully flinch him out of that, which we succeeded in doing. Hit him before he can hit me. I failed on that front. Completely and utterly. Ugh. Just terrible. There we go. Now I only need 4 more, which is just lovely. We are saving our souls. SOS. But in the sense that they are the souls that we acquire in-game as opposed to one's soul, one's life essence. Anyway. Iron Tarkus shall be summoned. We shall enlist his, or employ his assistance. Enlist his assistance. And... or in killing the giant that throws the bombs and all that business. That bomb being thrown there. And then we will take on the boss, and then we will purchase some large Titan Knight. We will then get the cage key. Take the cage back to the Undead Parish. Level up this sword. And then proceed to acquire the ring that I was supposed to get a long time ago. Okay? Back when the dinosaurs roamed, was when I had first decided that I wanted the wolf ring. And here I am all these years later. Antarctica's frozen over. The dinosaurs came and went. The giant mammals came and went. And now the dick-headed apes rule. And here I am, still bereft of a wolf's ring. A Titan Knight chunk. Lovely. Come, Tarkus. Targus will always be your main damage dealer, by the way, when it comes to this boss fight. I don't recall a time in New Game when I was fighting this boss and actually dealing decent damage on my own. Because the Iron Golem is really quite beefy, and the reason why is because they encourage you to knock him down. And specifically knock him off the edge, more than anything. And the more poise damage your weapon does, the better it's going to be for you, as far as knocking him down is concerned. My recommendation is not to get caught with that, or caught by that. There you go. I don't think we're going to succeed in actually knocking him off the edge here, but he's kind of close. It's possible that he will fall off. But I'd say there's like a 20% chance that he will. See, pretty close, but not quite close enough. Targus is dealing good damage today. As he always does. Go for it, Targus. Thank you, man. Thank you for your assistance, it is much appreciated. Is Havel's Great Shield in... Oh no, that's a strength requirement of 50, isn't it? I think Havel's Great Shield is in one of the chests in Anor Londo. I will open those chests. And I might use the armor inside. Yes, I think I will. That would be easier. I mean, I'm at this point now. I don't intend to use Havel's armor. It cannot be upgraded. It's mainly for poise. Havel's armor is good for defense, absolutely. Let that be known. But it is not the best for defense. But it will be good just as a heavy armor set for me to use at this point in the game. So I will make use of that. And I believe his Great Shield is included there, but it is again a strength requirement of 50, and I don't think I'll be using that. I might use the Artorias Great Shield, because it's the best shield for stability. Not necessarily the best in terms of what it shields. The best shield for, you know, shielding physical, fire, magic, and lightning is Havel's Great Shield, as I understand it. But I'm tempted to not do that. I don't know if there's a stone Great Shield equivalent in the Guardian form. So when I was talking about the stone armor set, having the Guardian armor pieces, which are basically from the... Oh my fucking god. I can't believe that. I mean, all that is... The only thing that just happened there is I wasted my own time. Like, that's all I've achieved in doing that. Like, I didn't lose anything. I didn't, like, nothing really happened there. All I did was just die in such a dumb fucking way that I now have to waste time. Like, that's all that's happening right there. I have to go and make that dumb fucking jump just to get my soul back. And all my bloodstain back, and what a complete shit show. That's 34,000 souls, by the way. I don't want to lose those. Plus, I think 1 humanity. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying, that there might be like a stone Great Shield that's not, you know, old and decrepit. There might actually be like a DLC version of that. And I would like to have that for fashion purposes, because that would look better with the Guardian set as compared to the Great Shield of Artorias. So we'll see, but in fact I will check. I'll check momentarily. I think once I reach the bonfire... No, I won't wait until I reach the bonfire of Anor Londo. And you know what? It's time to save time. That's not really a time-saving venture. No, it's not at all, actually. Because I do have to go and... whatever. My heart was in the right place, but actually I needed to go and open the cage with the cage key. I do forget that I don't have warping capabilities. And I forget not because I'm used to playing other Souls games, but rather because I spend a lot of my time in this game with characters that have warping capabilities. At least that's what I often find. Most of my time in this game is spent with warping capabilities, so... Occasionally I will do something without careful consideration and, you know, the thing that I've done has been done under the assumption that I have warping capabilities. Not that that was like a really... not that that was a decision-making process at the forefront of my conscious mind. It was rather a subconscious thought process, and yeah. It was misguided. And based on misinformation. I know it looks like I'm barely missing those axes, but I am carefully evaluating what I can and can't get away with. Such as this situation. Well, it was going to be the case that I succeeded in avoiding that by going down those stairs, and therefore, you know, my... well, I would have been able to avoid it, but I ran out of stamina. So I couldn't get down there fast enough, which was pretty sad, but anyway. I won't actually rest at that bonfire. Because I want to save time. You see. I shall modify you to +6. Better to do it through Andre. May as well get a +10 Zweihander before we even get to Anor Londo. Makes things even better. Does it not? Oh, don't do that. Fuck me sideways. Anyway, I'll consume that stuff when I'm ready to level up. Hey Vernon, good to see you. I was needing someone to talk to. Well, I never need someone to talk to. I'm very good at talking to myself. I did it for 8 years. I talked to myself and no one else for 8 years, but yeah. These days I'm a bit spoiled, so I need someone to talk to. But yeah. We'll go and get that wolf ring, and... you know, not that I... not for lack of needing it for ages, yet not taking the time to get it. But anyway. Oh, did I piss you off that time? I apologise. Was that because I admonished you for capturing that monster? Or attempting to capture that monster? I assume that might have been what it was, or maybe, I don't know. I apologise if I was short with you in any way, but yeah. We all have moments where we don't want to deal with other people's shit, and I realise that I take a tone that can be unappreciated, or something that is unappreciated at times, so... You do have my apologies for that. I forgot what I was doing. It turns out that I'm getting the wolf ring. It seems that no matter what the fuck I'm doing, even if it is even if I am at a location that involves getting the wolf ring, I still somehow figure out a way to not get the wolf ring. It's shocking. I don't know how I've done this, but... Anyway. It's not much of a process, which is part of the reason why I was left so frustrated by the fact that I didn't take the time to go and get it, even though I really wanted to get it. But we're about to get it now, and there it is. And sometimes I do miss this roll, but only when I'm being especially inept. Especially inept. Yeah, I understand. Now, what I said was correct, but I could have said it in a nicer way than I did. For sure. You know. You know what you're doing, and I know what I'm doing, so... It's understandable. Sleep is a good way to reset, for sure. I am currently consuming these because I'm about to level up. I often find myself leveling up at the Anor Londo bonfire as a matter of ritual. It feels like I have to do that. It's almost a recognition of the fact that I'm leveling up in preparation for that area, but whatever. Let's just do it now. Take you to 25 and then you to 33? Do we want to do that? I think so. Yes, let's do that. That's a good decision. Follow your instincts, Doomlink. They only lead you astray occasionally. Only occasionally. Yeah, you did mention that. I don't know if that was... Yeah, you mentioned that in my chat, didn't you? I must have read it at a time when I couldn't respond and I forgot to respond. But yeah, as I said, you basically need anything that's going to strain your PC beyond, let's say, I would say beyond 70% CPU load is just not going to work if you're streaming off the same machine. And it's stupid, it shouldn't be that way, but OBS just gets a little bit funny if you just don't... Like, for example, if your PC is going to 80% load while streaming, just it won't work. I don't know why. But it just doesn't like it, so... I'm sure there's a good reason why, but... Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Oh, you definitely did. It's not a matter of whether or not you typed it, because you did, because I knew that you had given streaming on World on your PC a try, but I don't think I did end up responding. Anyway, let's make sure we rest at this bonfire. I don't really have a need to rest at it outside of just setting my spawn point. But we're going to knock this area out in one go, aren't we? Because we know how to take this area on. It's funny, I mean, this is such a process-driven area in the sense that it's something that you can learn, and once you've learned it, it's not a problem at all. It's one of those areas that can be the most crushingly difficult area of the game, but once you've learned how to do it, it becomes one of the easiest. So... yeah, that's what I've found anyway. Okay, you're really funny. I did press the roll button, but apparently not. Maybe I hallucinated it. Maybe I hallucinated the action of my thumb pressing that button. Who knows? I mean, anything's possible, right? What's going on with you? Really, at this rate? I should just be fast rolling with a two-handed setup. You've made your point, you're annoying. Imagine being so annoying. Imagine. Well, you don't even need to imagine it, you're witnessing it before your very eyes. What a prick. I don't know if getting Demon Titanite's worthwhile. No, that's not. There's a chest with a bit of Demon Titanite in it, but if you do not foresee a need for Demon Titanite in the future, then just don't worry about it. Now, sometimes you can be wrong and you actually end up wanting a boss soul weapon, but even if you do, you can just come back later and get it. It's somewhat inconvenient, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like you lose access to it, so, you know, tough titties, right? Yeah, play Dark Souls, do it. Give it a try. Or give it another try, rather. Like, barely. This part here, by the way, Vernon, this is going to piss you right off when you're playing the game. It's much harder than it looks. You know what, I'm just going to fucking... No, I won't ignore this guy. I've done some stupid things in my time, but that would be pushing it. In other words, well, no, that would be on the verge of being the dumbest thing that I'd ever done. You know, allowing myself to be sandwiched between two enemies on the raft. On the rafters, that would be really dumb. And I'm not going to do that. I don't want to waste that much time. Yeah, I know all about it. I know all about your... I'm so I go to the trouble of getting the wolf ring and I don't even equip it. Doomlink, you are a special kind of stupid. You really are. Anyway. To paraphrase Boris Johnson, you can never guarantee that behind the veneer of a blithering idiot lies a blithering idiot. Come on. I understand that you think I'm over there, but I must inform you of the fact that I'm not. I never was and I never will be over there. So you're going to have to bring yourself over here. Come on. Again, should just be two-handing and fast-rolling at this stage. Alrighty. And now I officially have everything that this guy can possibly drop. I've got the helmet, the shield, the halberd, and the tail axe. That's everything, right? I think so. Oh, Jin, what would I ever do without you? What would I ever do without you? So what I usually do with this guy, I mean, you're not in any way obligated to approach this in the way that I'm about to, but for the sake of simplicity, I stand outside of his range so that he goes and backwards walks into position. I don't know why he's designed in that way. Why can't he just turn around and walk? I think the reason why is because they don't want you to be able to hit him while he's retreating to his starting position. So he walks backwards with his shield raised. I don't know if... I mean, that could possibly be not some sort of game mechanic, but, you know, they might try to pass that off as some sort of strategy employed by the creature in the context of the game world. But I don't know. Seems a bit weird to me. Seems like a... You know, I do think that it's easier to design him that way, isn't it, if you think about it? Instead of, you know, the extra process of turning around, he just walks backwards. And that would be easy to program, wouldn't it? I know nothing about programming, but as I understand it, getting him to turn around would be an extra thing to program, so just, you know, have him walk backwards, right? I don't know. As much as I love this game, I will admit that there are some aspects to it that are janky. I suppose it can't be denied, but it's a beautiful game. It really is. It is without flaw, unless you're a joyless sod of a human being who wants to complain about giants walking backwards. The giants are walking backwards, so my immersion was so terribly ruined. Well, okay, now that's pretty bad. That's the sort of jank that's almost inexcusable. The very idea that a winged creature can just arbitrarily slip off the edge of a building and fall to their death, or for it to fall to its death, I mean, that's pretty bad. I mean, it's not only can it fly, but it, you know, killed itself, basically, just by existing, so that's pretty bad. What would I do if a movie was ever made of the Soul series? I'd start off by being disappointed, and then I would proceed to not watch it. And at the same time, do my very best to completely separate myself from any information about it and any community reaction regarding it. Excluding the most basic of reactions, such as it was good or it was bad. And I would do my best not to discuss it. It would never happen because the Souls series has more dignity than to have some Hollywood movie based around it. But yeah, it's a pretty gross thought. I will for a change. I'm fucking slow today. Let's do a little better. Let's do a little better. But yeah, I would not be impressed, put it that way. I'll be able to demonstrate two things in this build that I haven't yet demonstrated in this livestream series. The first is this location here. This is an area with what I believe to be 3 chests. Excuse me, 5. Oh, I was so close yet so far. This is a mimic. This is the first, or the second mimic that appears in the game. In the series, actually. Second mimic of the series. Mimics didn't exist in Demon's Souls. The first one was in Sen's Fortress, protecting a lightning spear. This one is protecting an occult club. Hey, I got it on target. Oh no, this is bad. This didn't kill him, so he's going to try to grab me. Out you go. So, occult club, which is good if you're doing a magic build, which I'm not. Excuse me, occult is faith, not intelligence. So, what I like to do is open all the chests first and then take their contents. Or pillage them, as they say. Pillage is a bit... I feel like pillage is a bit of an overstatement for what's being done. I would say, you know, retrieve would be an appropriate, you know, retrieve the contents within, or, you know, retrieve item would be an appropriate phrase. I mean, pillage treasure chest. You know, as if I'm making an event of it. You know, I've taken a... anyway. I feel like to pillage is really to make an event of it. But anyway. What I have here is the full Havel set plus his weapon. And I don't know if it includes the shield. I think it does. I think this is his shield here. There it is right there. And that's the dragon tooth. So his shield cannot be used yet because it has a strength requirement of 50. That is much higher than it should be when you're picking it up for the first time in Anor Londo. If you're in Anor Londo for the first time and you have 50 strength, something's wrong with you. You know, you have either grinded too many souls to the point where you're, you know, basically playing the game on easy mode, or you have disproportionately allocated your souls to that one stat to the detriment of your gaming experience, in my opinion. So, yeah, don't do that. I always take this shortcut, I always have. I don't really feel like I need to demonstrate the rest of Anor Londo to you, so I will continue to do that. Why am I fucking this up? Thank you, Doomling. I need to watch you live, Vernon, I really do. What I would recommend that you do, if possible, is, how can we work that? We need to schedule a time when I can be available to watch you, because we would have to do two things. First and foremost, I'd have to know that you're streaming, and second of all, you would have to probably stream a little later than you normally would, because you're usually streaming when I'm asleep, and then, like, when I've just woken up, sort of thing. So, I mean, I'm happy to just wake up and immediately watch your live stream, but yeah, we'd have to plan that. Because as much as I don't have anything against watching your VOD, it's just that I can't be of much help to you if it's already happened, like if you've already played, and like I can't really give you my input at that point. Yes, I can, but it's a bit more awkward because it's not there in the moment for you to immediately put into practice what you've learned, sort of thing. So, yeah. I'm surprised you don't have people backseat playing when you're live, but I mean that I would have thought that would be something you'd have to actively deter people from doing rather than have to worry about people not doing it, but anyway. In other words, I had a feeling that you'd probably get some assistance anyway, but maybe not. So, I think what we're going to do is consume some humanity here. Even though Solaire is not here by the bonfire, and this was something that I had to remind myself of, he is still someone who can be summoned. He is still summonable in this location, even if we haven't spoken to him before, which is good. Because Ornstein and Smo without the assistance of Solaire is kind of annoying. Doable, but annoying. And if there is a choice between doing it and not doing it, oh, you tricky dick. Come on. Come on. Don't be shy now. That's right, I said that I would equip Havel's set, didn't I? Silver Knight Spear, that's a reasonable weapon, but I don't think I'll be using it. If Havel's set is too heavy, in that it actually causes me to... I know what to do. I know exactly what to do. Well, I don't want to do that. I'm going to get the Silver Knight set. It's right here. And I'm going to mix and match the pieces so that I may mid-roll. It's still a fat roll. Still a fat roll. God, and you know, I've put points into endurance. You guys have witnessed that for yourselves. There you go, there's your mid-roll. Okay. So, 104 poise is overkill, so I will equip the Ring of Steel Protection. I'm still sitting on 64 poise, and my defense is sitting at 274, which is very good for this point in the game. So, I'm happy with that. This is not finalized. I'm not going to be using this loadout going forward, like absolutely sticking to this loadout armor-wise. You feel the Black Eye Orb quivering. Should I just go and take him on? I don't want any of you right now. I really don't. Nothing of what you are is worth my time. Let's go and take on Lautrec. This is again something... Oh, fucking... Like, you know, if I press left on the D-pad, can you actually recognize my input? I'm not pressing it for fun. Eat my ass. Alright. Now. This will be a little difficult. If I can... Oh, I see, it's not even Dark Anor Londo. That's good to know. That helps. So what I'm going to try to do is piss off only Lautrec, if I can. Do I have ranged capabilities at all? Not really. I don't want to find more than one of you at once. Let's see what we can do. My guess is that they will all see me at the same time. Yep. How can I fucking guess? Well, let's try to deal with Lautrec here. Don't do that. I'm not allowed to heal. What is it, because you're talking to me? I'm not allowed to heal at all. Well, this is brilliant, isn't it? Isn't that quite I mean, that's perfect. That's great. You were not even my target, Lautrec. You really weren't. I do hope you realise that. Oh my god, this has to be done a different way. Look, he's going to catch up to me. I'm going to try to coax his attack and then roll. And then I'm going to be attacked from a distance. I mean, this is a serious problem. I forgot that I wasn't allowed to heal here. This is so bad. He's dead. Done. So, I mean, I've only got one chance here, as you can see. I know that he's attacking me with magic. I'm intimately familiar with the fact that he's attacking me with magic, you have to understand. You know, when you miss like that, man, it's problematic, isn't it? Coax his attack, coax his attack. Fucking ridiculous. Hello, Lautrec. Yeah, parry dagger me, I don't give a damn. I thought he was running towards me. Go! You don't have all day, man. Look at him rolling towards me like that. Can you do a little better? I know it's a fucking struggle for you, but can you try to do a little better than that? No healing, please. That was close. That was too close for... If you're wondering what that sound was, I'm literally wiping my hand on my chair because my hands are sweating. As long as Lautrec dies, I'm happy. Yeah, I'm fucking wiping the sweat off my hands off my chair. Crazy. Okay. So as long as Lautrec died, that's okay. And I shouldn't have lost anything, even if I died there. That's great. That's great. So, if you die there, it's not a big deal. Because I'm technically not in my body. I'm basically invading much like a member of the Dark Moon Covenant would. And, yeah. I don't even regret that I failed to kill the spellcaster there. Couldn't give a damn. I did what I needed to do, and I basically did it without taking a hit, if we ignore the fact that I took a hit initially. Alright. I'm feeling pretty good after that. Praise the sun, motherfucker, says Makan. I haven't seen you in a long time, Makan. Long time. Aren't you one of my old viewers, like, from a while ago? Like, from when I was first streaming? I think so. Not like one of my old viewers, but older than most, yeah. Oh, your milkshake. Your milkshake? Oh, that's right. You're not the Makan. There's a guy who used to watch me in the past who was named Makan. And that's the second time I've been confused by that. Yeah, so your milkshake. Didn't you? Oh, no, I was about to say you got married. You had a kid, that's right. Forgot about that. At first I thought you got married, but no, you had a kid. That's why you disappeared. Solaire is getting destroyed. For fuck's sake. What's the point of summoning you if you just die before you even get here? He wants to get to where I am, but he just can't. He was getting stun-locked, basically. This is awful. Everything about this is awful. I mean, if he survives long enough for me to get to... No! Why were you rolling like that? Just run over here! Look at him. You are a miserable motherfucker, do you know that? Your son's already playing Demon's Souls. Well, hold on. This wasn't the child who had just been born when you were watching me play Majora's Mask. Surely, that was only like a year ago. Or a year and a half ago at most. He's not old enough to play Demon's Souls yet. Fortunately. It has not been 3 years, don't be so silly. It couldn't have been 3 years. I haven't been live streaming for 3 years. If you have 2 children, then obviously the older one was not one that I was present for the birth of. But yeah, it hasn't been 3 years since I was live in Majora's Mask. Anyway. No, I remember I was playing Majora's Mask and you said, oh well, you know, I'm a father now or something like that, I don't know. I don't know if that's how you said it. Because that would suggest that it was your first child. I don't know, I can't remember, it was a while ago. So there's Ornstein dead, and that's alright, that's perfect. All I needed was for Solaire to draw one of the 2 bosses. That's all I needed. You had twins, well, okay, well, the twins thing, I didn't remember that part. That's something I did forget, okay, so I thought you, okay. I do vaguely remember that now, but in terms of remembering that detail prior to your mentioning of it, no, I hadn't retained that information. This shield is not too good for this fight. It passes, but it's not too great. So you're telling me that they're 3 now? That's not possible. They can't be 3 years old already. Something's wrong with this picture. Because I was not live streaming 3 years ago. I started live streaming in January of 2019, and I didn't start live streaming Majora's Mask until early last year. So, yeah. At best, late 2019. So, that's the way it goes. How that relates to the birth of your children, I don't know. That is only for you to know. But if they're 3 years old, it means that I was not told of their birth at the time of their birth. Which is what I thought was the case, but time flies, won't it? That it does. That it does. Just don't let them watch me, I'm a bad influence. Not that I need to tell you that. You'll have to wait until they're 16 before they can watch me. Otherwise they'll be saying all sorts of ridiculous things. Who's the scary long-haired man? They'll be seeing me in their nightmares. Ugh. There we go. Uncle Link, oh dear. Oh dear. Too much responsibility. Oh no. He actually sat on my head in that moment. I'm not worried about failing this fight, although I do have to start paying attention because you know what I have to do here? And I don't like doing this, but I have to actually start using humanity as healing because I've got plenty of humanity, and I can tell you what's most important here, it's the fact that I succeed in this fight. That's what needs to be done here. So, yeah, there's no fucking this up. Oh. There you go, right in the crotch. And you know, this thing is female. And I didn't find that out until like 4 years ago. And this game's been out for 10 years, so... Yeah, and I played it when it came out, so, you know... That's 6 years of not knowing such a disturbing fact, and now I've just... credit carded the... I can't believe I just said that. I just attacked the ass crack of the monster. Or the creature. Now, I'm reminded of a time when... This was back in primary school. We used to get our bus passes that we used, and we used to slide them up each other's ass cracks. Not that I did this. You know, I was slightly less juvenile than they were. And we used to go, credit card. I mean, how gross is that? I mean, what the fuck? You can't do that now. Nowadays, you'd just be... yes, this is the 360 version. But, you know, nowadays you probably wouldn't do that. I mean, that's just weird, but... yeah, we used to credit card each other, you know. And I say we because, you know, my year group, but I didn't do that. That shit's weird. You know, I would never entertain the thought of sliding a card up some boy's ass crack and going, credit card. Like, why would you? You'll be arrested nowadays. Well, you wouldn't be arrested if, you know, you're 12 years old and they're 12 years old. But if there's a... if there's a considerable age difference, then yes. I've consumed way too much humanity in this fight. That's it. No more humanity consumption. Alright. Good night. But yeah, I mean, you don't use humanity in a boss fight unless you're confident that you'll succeed in killing it. And the reality is that I just ran out of Estus flasks there. And yeah, I knew that I was going to be able to kill Smo, I just needed the means in order to achieve the outcome. And that was healing. And I had that on hand in the form of humanity, but yeah. Hell, the boys and girls were slapping each other's asses and blowing in the gym lockers in my school, you say. Well, that's slightly different. Like, the blowing part's slightly different. That's not like a, haha, get over here, let me suck you off. Like, that's different. That's like a... That's an expression of, you know, adolescent sexual desire. Not like, oh, I'm gonna muck around with you and suck your dick. Like, that's different. Get over here and take your pants off. Hey, John, take your pants off. Whip it out. You know, like... We have to be realistic here. Anyway. Excuse me for this rather lascivious discussion. So... Soul of Smo, again, can be used for a strength weapon, but as I said before, the problem with Smo's hammer is that while it is a perfectly good strength-based weapon, you can't see anything when you... Having said that, I kind of want to make it, just so that I can show you what I'm talking about. Because you're going to think that I'm being dramatic. Oh, what do you mean, Doobly? You can't see anything when you're using the weapon? What do you mean? Oh, it's probably fine. Well, let me fucking show you. I'm just going to pray that it accepts a +10 Ultra Greatsword. If it doesn't, then that's okay. But I'm hoping that it does. Because if it does, it means I'll be able to make it right now. Through the giant blacksmith. Can you fuck right off? It's my humble request to you in this moment. Eat a big old dick, my friend. I do not need you in this moment. I do not require your giant halberd swinging in my arse. I didn't want to say in my arse because it's a little bit too topical. You know, I'm trying to make my departure from that subject. Forge your weapons, is what he says, but I skipped what he said. I am not able to make the Smo's hammer weapon with an ultra greatsword, which means that I probably need to upgrade some sort of blunt weapon for it, which I'm willing to do, but well, what I can do, possibly, not just possibly, this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to check what type of weapon is required. Smo's hammer. I can get some Demon Titanite for it. Again, I said that I probably wouldn't need Demon Titanite, and then afterwards I said, well, you can sometimes never truly foresee whether or not you're wanting to make a demon weapon until you actually want to make one, and then you haven't gone and acquired Demon Titanite, so you have to go and get it manually, which is annoying, but you can live with it because it's not going anywhere. Well, there you go. It was only 40 minutes later that I'm sitting here wanting to make a demon weapon. Any strike weapon, which is, you know, I guess hammers, clubs, any of those sorts of weapons. What strike weapons do I have? That is a strike weapon. That is a strike weapon. Yeah. You can see that there's an attack type description which says strike there. It's fairly, like sensible. It's logical. It doesn't have a sharp edge, so it can't be slash. Or whatever they say. Regular, thrust. Oh, I see. So it's regular, thrust, and strike. I'd never really considered the terminology that would be used. If you've actually been with your wife since kindergarten, then that's impressive. I don't know if that's a joke, but if it's not, then consider me impressed. You are in a minority that can barely be measured by any metric. That's rare. That's beyond high school, sweetheart. That's like, wow. When women were women. The first game you introduce your girlfriend to is Monster Hunter. That's dangerous. That's a good way to add some tension to the relationship. It doesn't need to be there. Okay, so reinforcing the Morning Star might be my way forward. Reinforcing the Dragon Tooth isn't really helpful. You can see that I can't make Smo's hammer with the Dragon Tooth as it is now, so that would require a +4. No, that wouldn't work, because it has to be a +10 strike weapon, so therefore Dragon Tooth is off the table entirely. I have the money to actually have the Lord Vessel now. I have the... Can you please not be so utterly ridiculous? I need those large Titanite shards. I'm basically giving up my level ups here so that I can make Smo's hammer. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe what I'm doing. But whatever. I've decided that I will more easily acquire Smo's hammer in this moment than the other demon weapons, so I'll just do this for now. This is fine. Alright, catch you later, Vernon. Now, what are we doing? We are warping to the Undead Parish. We will purchase the Titanite shards necessary to upgrade to +5, and then we will upgrade to +10. And then we will, of course, turn that into... In fact, what I'll do... Oh, that's so annoying. I haven't opened the door to the... Shit. Haven't opened the door to the main cathedral area of Anor Londo, which means that I can't go from the initial Anor Londo bonfire, pick up the Demon Titanite, then go up the stairs and access... Anyway. You know what I'm talking about. Point is that acquiring that Demon Titanite that's in the chest that I willingly bypassed because I didn't think I'd need it, getting that's going to be a little more annoying, but life goes on. Does it not? You're in the US, aren't you? I think a lot of countries are having problems right now with, you know, graphics cards. Your 3080 finally came in and you want to get out of your shithole country. I can tell you right now, old Germany. Yeah, Europe's not in a good position when it comes to that. Europe's definitely worse off than we are. Europe and the UK are worse off than we are when it comes to tech at the moment. And always have been, to be honest. Fuck. Maybe the UK can sometimes be better off than Australia, but yeah. Don't get yourself killed. That's right, I remember that you were I remember that. I just got a flashback to me playing Majora's Mask in the Stone Tower Temple and talking about my live stream playthrough of Pokemon Snap in German and saying, God, I hope no German-speaking person watches that. And then Milkshake comes in and says, oh, I speak German as a first language, I'll go and watch it. And I'm like, oh no. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, I can't believe that was... I mean, that was already about a year ago. Funny. Oh, more than a year ago. No, about a year ago. I can't remember when I was in the Stone Tower Temple in Majora's Mask. I suppose that would have been August of last year or something. That sounds about right. I missed that. My capture card that I use to record those older consoles is currently out of order and needs to be fixed. And it pains me. It really pains me. I need to get it fixed. It's an issue to do with mini USB, not micro USB, mini USB. The port inside the capture card is dislodged, and as a result the connection is inconsistent, and at this stage it is actually not even accepting connection at all, so that needs to be fixed. It needs to be resoldered to the PCB. And I don't have the equipment to do that, so I'm going to have to get someone else to do it. In other words, it's a bit of a process that I have to undertake, and, you know, I have to find someone to do it and pay them to do it. And it's annoying. I need to get my own soldering iron and solder and all that business, and because I need to do some soldering of save batteries to cartridges. So that needs to happen anyway, but I feel like I need to prioritize just getting that capture card fixed, so I think I'll just pay someone to do that. I don't know who I'm going to pay to do that, but I'll figure it out. Somehow. Alright. So, I went and got that. You know what I could... Oh, I don't have the rusted iron ring. Okay, that's alright. Chamber of the Princess. You know, speaking of this hammer that I'm about to get, this great hammer, it's going to be very heavy. It is 28 units of weight, holy shit. That's 18 units of weight more than what I have right now. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. Fuck me. So, that means I'm going to have to do two things. The first is change my armor set so that I can actually wield that with a mid-roll. I don't like fat rolling, I'm not interested in that really. And then second of all, I need to be able to... Oh, hold on. And second of all, yeah, I'm not going to be watching anime with my friend today. It's getting late. But yeah. Second of all, I need to stop this. My disk suddenly had to load something and then directly coinciding with that disk load, my game shut itself. But anyway, it shut itself in that it dropped frames, which is totally normal for you guys. So whatever. Here we go, Smo's hammer. Oh baby. What are the stat bonuses? D? D? Well, I seem to recall it being quite good anyway, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. What was I saying? I was saying something. I was talking about something. I can't even remember. Smo's hammer. Oh, shit. What are the stat requirements? Fuck me. Well, you can see what I'm talking about when I say that this thing is just totally obstructive. Visually. Like, you can't even see what's going on. I'm trying to, like, imagine, I'm trying to look at this enemy. The fucking hammer is covering half the screen. It's terrible. I didn't know that this thing covered so much. Excuse me. I knew about that part. I didn't know that this thing had such a high strength requirement. That's insane. Holy shit. 58? That's the highest strength requirement of anything in the game. I'd forgotten about that. Oh shit. And here I was hoping that I could use it as soon as possible. This is terrible. This has backfired incredibly. I can't believe this. This is really bad. This is all kinds of not okay. Well, you know what? I'm not going to be using it anyway, so there you go. I'm sure there are a lot of reasons why people don't use it. I generally didn't use it because it just blocked so much of my vision. But I guess that ridiculous strength requirement is part of the reason why people don't use it, yeah. As much as I want to level up with these souls, I don't have any more homeward bones, so I want to buy some. This is fucking awful. This is actually just not okay. Oh dear. Well, you know what? This might be a good stopping point. Because I've been live for 3 hours and 32 minutes, which is long enough to be completely honest. I've taken care of a lot of the... I mean, I've gone through almost 50% of the game in this one recording. I've done reasonably well. I do have a few things to work on when it comes to the build itself, but I'll work out my continuation point in the next video, and I'll probably be sitting here with my head in my hands practically when I return next time. But I do thank you all for being here. I was not even really intending on recording at this time, but I did, and I don't regret it. It was good fun. So I do thank you all for joining, those of you who have been here silently and are still here. And thank you for Milkshake for being here. And yeah, I will catch you all next time. Bye bye for now.